Internet terms apply.
On 1089 and 1053 medium wave. Online, on your mobile and on your smart speaker. Talk Sport. Talk Sport.
With the headlines at 1 minute past 12, I'm Nick Ellaby. Good afternoon. Kobbie Mainoo starts for the first time this season. 5 changes for Michael Carrick's first game in charge. Harry Maguire returns too. In a back 4, Man United versus Man City's live from 12:30 here on TalkSport. We've heard Man City are feeling positive about Phil Foden signing a new deal, as Mark Gay's City medical is confirmed for tomorrow. That's ahead of his move from Palace. All the latest at TalkSport.com. And a 38-year-old Novak Djokovic is confident he can still beat anyone as he starts his latest quest for that 25th Grand Slam title at tomorrow's Australian Open.
Wrap up with great savings in the Vodafone winter sale. Get reliable full fibre broadband from only £24 per month. Hurry, this amazing deal ends the 28th of January. Plus, switching is easy with one-touch switch. So, go online or in-store today. Vodafone.
Was £26 per month on a 24-month contract, subject to credit check acceptance and availability. Terms at vodafone.co.uk/terms.
The spirit of Saturday. Game day exclusive on Talk Sport.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Game Day exclusive on TalkSport. I'm Reshmin Chowdhury. We're just under half an hour away from kick-off at Old Trafford, ahead of our 12:30 live and exclusive Premier League match here as Manchester United host Manchester City. We have Mickey Gray, Stuart Pearce, and getting a recap of the lineups, all thanks to Betfair. Here's our commentator, Matt Face.
For the first time in history of this fixture, a new boss takes charge of Manchester United. He has put his stamp on the team, Michael Carrick, with 5 changes. Ahmad and Mbeumo return. Cunha and Sesko drop to the bench. They start with Senna Lomans in goal. A back 4 of Diogo Dalot. Harry Maguire returning for the first time to start a game since November. Martinez alongside him and Luke Shaw. Casemiro and Mainoo at the heart of midfield, with Ahmad, Fernandes and Dorgu behind Brian Mbeumo in attack. For Manchester City, they switched 3 from Tuesday with their win at Newcastle. Semenyo starts, as does Bernardo Silva, who goes above Willie Donachie and David Silva to go 10th in the list of all-time City appearance makers today. He said today, if we play at our level, it's very difficult to stop us. We'll find out. Donnarumma is the goalkeeper. Lewis, Kusanov, Alain and Ake the back 4. Rodri anchors the midfield with Semenyo, Foden, Silva and Doku behind Erling Haaland in attack. Erling Haaland, who scored 8 goals in 9 appearances against Manchester United for Manchester City.
Thank you very much, Sam. Those lineups were brought to you by Betfair. 18+ terms and conditions apply. Well, Manchester City, we've talked about United, haven't we? But City have the opportunity to close the gap between themselves and Arsenal at the top to 3 points for a few hours at least if they get the win today. But 3 consecutive draws in the league has set their title challenge back significantly over the winter period.
And there is the full-time whistle. A thrilling game. Ignore the scoreline, which has finished Sunderland 0, Manchester City 0.
I've not seen City give the ball away that much in a football match and looked a little bit sloppy at times.
Manchester City 1, Chelsea 1. Enzo Fernandez with the finishing touch. 4 points drop for City at home in a game they could ill afford to lose, with Arsenal extending the gap at the top of the table.
Spreads it across to Mitoma on the far side. Mitoma wants to shoot and does, and scores! It's a terrific equaliser for Brighton.
City have drawn their last 3 and don't close the gap on Arsenal. Manchester City 1, Brighton 1.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, Stuart, Mickey and Sam? Unbeaten in their last 13 in all competitions, but Manchester City have drawn their last 3 games in the Premier League. How costly can that be for them, Mickey?
Well, they've been in this situation before, Reshman, where they've been 6 points behind Arsenal at this part of the season, and they've clawed that back and they've won Premier Leagues. Myself and Stuart were just having a brief conversation about bringing in Mark Gahey in this January transfer window. And whether it's 30 million quid or not, that 30 million pounds might just take Man City to the Premier League title. You know, everybody was waiting until January, and there would have been a lot of takers for an England international, let me tell you. And I know his contract was running out in the summer, But I think that is an absolutely brilliant signing from Man City. I really do.
Well, just on that deal, with the fee, the wages and the signing on fee, it's very, very expensive for someone who is in the next few months going to be a free agent.
Yeah.
But for someone of his quality, actually, as Mickey says, it's probably a bargain. I mean, from Palace, the feeling was with no one else in the market, taking 20 million quid from City is better than losing him on a free in the summer. But for City, they've accelerated the move because of the injuries to Diaz, Gvardiol and Stones, but also to get a jump on the competition. Bayern Munich was sniffing, Arsenal, Liverpool and Barcelona too. So but with the injuries that they've got, they needed it now, and as Mickey said, it could be the difference between making a sustained title challenge and not.
And that just shows when the sporting directors and the manager are completely aligned and the club is completely aligned with what they need, because they're looking at the priorities that they have at this particular moment. Mark Guéhi, I mean, just a word on him, Stuart, defender to defender. I mean, you know, how good a bargain is this for Manchester City, not just with the timing, but just the player that they're getting, considering all the other suitors that were possible for him.
Well, listen, I think for a couple of years now I've been sort of touting him. Every time I've covered England, I've looked at him. He for me is the first name on an England team sheet, without a doubt. Where I think he'll help Manchester City, because Manchester City enjoy throwing players forward, dominating the ball, it's the turnover and the counter-attack that on occasion has caused them the odd problem. I think you can leave Guéhi one-on-one with people and he'll deal with those situations. That's where I think his real value lies for City. Yeah, absolutely. And they've also brought in Antoine Semenyo, another signing that they were very, very quick to secure as well, although it did seem to drag at the time. But ultimately they have acted very swiftly to just add to the firepower that they already have. And he's made a blistering start as well. They seem to just always strengthen in the right places, and now they've strengthened at exactly the right time, just when Pep wants to mount a title charge. And you said very rightly, Mickey, that, you know, Arsenal were 6 points clear of City in November last season and they were reeled back. I just wonder if we're talking about the same Arsenal City. I mean, considering where they were at this point last season and all the trouble that Pep Guardiola seemed to be under, he's managed to turn this side around pretty swiftly, but they're up against an Arsenal side. I just wonder if it's a similar kind of Arsenal, or are we seeing a more steely Arsenal in terms of their mentality? Because we're certainly looking at a better Arsenal in terms of their squad, aren't we, Mickey?
Yeah, it's a settled squad, Arsenal's now, and it's obviously a very good squad, Reshman, and I think, you know, from watching them throughout the whole of this season, it's been the most consistent. Defensively, very, very solid, but they can change and rotate those forward positions if things aren't going their way, just to see them over the line and win football matches, whether it's winning ugly or not. And I think you look at City's squad, and it's a rebuild. We talked about it was a very experienced side. You know, people like Kevin De Bruyne leaving Man City, very difficult to replace those type of players. But Pep seems to have rebuilt it, and there's not many positions now you'd look at if Mark Guéhi does come over the line that you would possibly change in a Manchester City shirt at the moment. So he's getting back to where he wanted to be. I think this is probably the biggest squad that Pep Guardiola's actually had, because he likes to work with small numbers. But now you're thinking, what's going to happen to Marmoush? What's going to happen to Savinho? Is anything going to happen with those two players in this January window? Because you think if all their forward players are fit, they would go with Doku, Semenyo and Erling Haaland in those front three positions. I know that will rotate because they're in a lot of competitions this season. But he's been able to yet again bring in the players that he's wanted to bring in this January window. Everybody thought this was going to be a quiet window.
Yeah,
they are two fantastic signings for Man City, and they take them to another level yet again.
It's exactly what they needed, isn't it? When you look at the fixtures coming up for Manchester City, they're in Europe on Tuesday. They've got a big trip actually away at Bodo Glimt. Then they play Wolves in the league. Crucially, let's just take a look at their league fixtures. They play Wolves at home. Then they're away at Tottenham Hotspur, their bogey team, and then they are away at Anfield against Liverpool as well. So there's some really key games coming up for Pep Guardiola to try and claw back those points, Stuart.
Yeah, there are. As I say, I think Arsenal are in a really strong position. I really do. I think their squad's as strong as it's ever been. I think if City do get above them and claw the title back, I think it will be an incredible achievement. If I was a betting man, I would still edge on Arsenal with a 6-point cushion at present. But you never know with City. The squad's brilliant, and maybe they've just worked out that the real value in the transfer market is recruiting from within the Premier League. You know, there's no settling in period about the two individuals we've just talked about.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you look at where sort of how Arsenal are performing at the moment, we've seen it before, haven't we? We just said we've seen City come back. What's always interesting about Pep Guardiola is that he gets the bit between his teeth, doesn't he, at this time of the season? And I just wonder, as you say, the intelligence of recruiting within the Premier League. How confident do you think he will be now that he can turn the screw, even with the 4 competitions that he's managing, Sam?
Well, I certainly think that, I'm answering on Sam's behalf here, he's got enough experience, he's been around the block all the time, and fighting on many fronts is not a detriment to Manchester City, I don't think. They're used to that, they understand what it's like. They've had a good run in the Carabao Cup, League Cup, whatever you call it, many times, and as I say, they've got half a foot in a cup final already, so they're in a really strong position.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, he's very confident. You speak to him, and we're lucky enough to do that on a regular basis. You know, I said, I think when we were at Nottingham Forest the other week, when we were watching the Manchester City team come from behind or actually not come from behind, but react to an equaliser there and score a brilliant goal for Rayan Cherki late on. His demeanour before the game, after the game, he's far too happy. And if I was Arsenal, the one thing that would worry me about going into the run-in is that he seems to be in a very good mood. And that's always quite scary for the opponents.
Absolutely right.
And I'm looking at the interview he's doing now. He's doing an interview now on television, and he's smiling. You know, and then to be honest with you, he doesn't really always cut the most relaxed of figures when you speak to him. So when he is, you think to yourself, he's very confident.
Yeah, you think what's brewing inside that head, that mastermind that he has. It's so interesting, isn't it? And I think so much of it is about past history, but also just the mental dynamics of this title race. It's going to be fascinating, isn't it? Right to the end of the season. But certainly what we have for you is something absolutely fascinating coming up for you at 12:30. This is Game Day exclusive on TalkSport with Sky Sports. And don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action flexibly, like Manchester United against Manchester City live today. You can search Now Sports. Of course, that's also coming up for you on TalkSport. Don't forget that we have 2 brilliant new podcasts for you via your favourite podcast provider or on the TalkSport app, wherever you choose to get them. We've got How to Win the World Cup with Matt Ford, Alex Brooker, and France 1998 winner Emmanuel Petit, who's always brilliant value. They all dive into how to win the globe's biggest football tournament, and TalkSport's Fiery Fridays with Adrian Durham, Alex Crook, and Angelina Kelly. Now, each of them arrive every week armed with one blazing hot take. This week, Adrian said that England would have won the 2010 World Cup if Fabio Capello had started Michael Carrick. Wow. Make sure you tune in to that and stay with us here live on TalkSport, because it is the Manchester Derby live from Old Trafford for you. It is a huge one, and kick-off is next.
Porquê que estás de gorro?
Para aquecer as orelhas.
E estás a tremer porquê?
Estou gelado.
E onde é que posso pedir Mac?
Na app do Mac.
É óbvio. Agora já podes pedir Mac na app do Mac. E ainda ganhas pontos MyM.
Game Day exclusive on TalkSport with Sky Sports. Stream the biggest Premier League games flexibly with Now, like Manchester United versus Man City live today. Search Now Sports, 18 plus, stream via internet, terms apply.
The beautiful game doesn't stop at the final whistle, and neither does the sun.co.uk. So you can go beyond the last kick with expert insight into the big moments and in-depth analysis of tactics, plus the latest breaking news and exclusives. And you can get it whenever and wherever you want it. To keep up with every kick, just head to thesun.co.uk. It's unbeatable.
At Betfair, we believe that to play different, you need the right tools. The boots, the world-class tactics, the science-backed nutrition. The pros have their tools, and with Betfair, so do you. Our safer gambling tools work just like the right pair of boots, designed to keep you on top of your game. Open the Betfair app to equip yourself so you can bet at your best. Betfair. Play different.
18 plus, begambleaware.org.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Watching the big game cozied up in the snug.
Another 7-0 win!
Balmy summer nights with the kids playing on the lawn.
We're playing real-life football!
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of April 2024 and 30th of June 2024 was under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
Incredible scenes here at the Village Hotel's Pub and Grill. Fans are taking their place in the fan zone with stadium-style seating, amazing views on huge screens, and we're underway. Lovely bit of dribbling there as she tackles the burger stack. Now they're getting down the wings. Sticky barbecue. Unbelievable. Oh, and he's hit the bar. And it's there! His favourite ice-cold beer. What a result! Catch every game live in the Pub and Grill at Village. Get in! Find out more at villagehotels.com.
As you can hear from my voice, I'm in a state of high acceleration. Yes, I'm positively beside myself. The reason that I can barely contain my enthusiasm is the IKEA winter sale. Weeks of incredible bargains. The inexpressible thrill of finding precisely the right thing at the right price. Sale ends soon. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
Hi, just leaving work now. Sorry it's a bit loud. Basically, so I was thinking we could get Mackey's tonight. Had a Big Mac on my mind all day, and delivery fee on the app is now from 99p. So, you in? Of course you are. Ha, love you. Bye.
Exclusively on the McDonald's app. 18 plus. Service fee and small order fee may apply. Participating restaurants. Serving times and T's and C's apply.
It's another day at Screwfix, and Sir Mo Farah is still getting to grips with things.
So, Mo, with Sprint Delivery, we get the order to them in as little as 20 minutes. Okay? Mo?
Mo? Done. He was on the 18th floor.
Nice work. But, you know we use delivery riders, right?
Oh, now you tell me.
Sprint it in as little as 20 minutes. Screwfix. No stopping you. Conditions and geographical restrictions apply.
Game day exclusive on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk.
TalkSport travel with Subway. Leave ordinary sandwiches on the bench. Bring on the new baked breaded chicken sub. How's that for a flavour hat-trick?
Delay in Buckinghamshire at Milton Keynes, the A5 blocked by an accident from McDonald's roundabout to Little Brick Hill turn. The A1 South is closed, the Great North Road at Eaton Soken and Chilston and Bedfordshire for weekend roadworks. And the eastbound entry to the M4 at Newport Junction 25A is closed for repair work. M6 toll in Staffordshire heading north is slow just after Norton Keynes services. Also build at Ranald Trafford for the Manchester Derby and also for the Coventry Leicester City game, both those underway shortly at 12:30. I'm Simon James.
Award-winning live football commentary. Game day exclusive. TalkSport.
Jim has been struggling.
It's not quite of the standard you would expect of Manchester United today. We do need to look at the way forward.
Let down by his workforce.
We are not performing the way we should be.
Ruben Amorim has been sacked as head coach at Manchester United.
His business in tatters.
This is turning into a disastrous season. What next for Manchester United?
But you might be able to help.
MUFC Job Claims Direct. Can I take your name, please?
Did you play for Manchester United between 1990 and 2010? Do you have the blessing of Sir Alex Ferguson? Then you may be entitled to the manager's job at Old Trafford.
What a finish! What a goal for Manchester United!
At MUFC Job Claims Direct, we'll get you to the place in the dugout you deserve.
What a comeback for Manchester United!
Ollie's life changed after he got in touch.
The club means everything to me, and together we're a good match, but unfortunately I couldn't get the results.
And he's not our only satisfied customer. Here's Darren.
It's an amazing honour, I think, to be able to lead a Manchester United team. I don't even think it's in my wildest dreams that was something that could potentially happen.
It was a job Michael never thought he'd get.
Played different roles for this club and learned to fall in love with the club for so long, and it's a massive part of my life.
Call us now on 08000 353 1999. That's 08000 353 1999 and secure your place in the hot seat at Old Trafford today. Terms and conditions apply. A decent playing squad may not come as standard. Any new manager will have to answer to a sporting director. This job does not include free sandwiches at the club canteen.
Oh, that's just brilliant. Massive props to our production team. I absolutely love that. What a touch. 0800 353 1999. I tell you what, they're absolutely hilarious, aren't they? But what is unbelievable is how accurate it is, because this is exactly what Manchester United have been doing. Maybe sabotaging themselves by harking too far back into the past. Mickey Gray, I mean, it's just what they seem to do. It's just that this club is not that club anymore. They've gone for Michael Carrick again. It seemed the only two managers available, the only names in the frame were Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Michael Carrick. It's a gamble, would you say, Mickey Gray, that could go right but also could go horribly wrong?
I actually think it's a safe bet, Reshman, if I'm completely honest with you, because I don't think there was too much pressure on Michael coming back to Manchester United. I think with his track record of being an ex-player, being in the dugout on 3 occasions and did okay in those 3 games, I think it was quite like a comfy blanket, if you like, just to bring Michael or Ollie back. I think the big question's going to come in the summer is, if Michael does well, and we spoke about this a little bit earlier, if Michael does well, is he given the opportunity to take Manchester United forward, or do they then go into the market and have a look at, Oliver Glasner, we know he's available now. Unless something happens to him, there's going to be 3 or 4 other managers that are going to want to take this post. But who wouldn't? If you get offered the opportunity to manage Manchester United, you jump here. There's no question of that. But Michael knows he's got these 17 games in charge with no distractions other than Premier League football now. If he gets results, then a big question will have to be asked in the summer.
But the thing is, the pressure is on because there are only 17 games to make an impact. Manchester United not in European football this season, out of the cups as well on the domestic front. You've got managers who are available right now. Oliver Glasner, yes, in the summer. You've got Enzo Maresca, okay, that might be a controversial one. You've got Xavi of Barcelona, who, how would that be, compared to up against Pep? You're looking at, there's Zidane, he's available as well. Why aren't they going elsewhere?
Well, $1 million question, isn't it, Reshman? I think those managers that you mentioned probably want to take the Manchester United job, but they probably want £25 million a year to take that job and £350 million to spend in the transfer window. I think that's where Manchester United are. That's where Manchester United want to be. You talk about the last 15 years. Well, they've got to forget about that and they've got to look towards the future. If you keep looking back all the time, you're just going to stay static.
That's exactly the problem, isn't it? That everyone would say that Manchester United have been in the last few seasons. Well, look, the players are lining up in the tunnel. It is an absolutely huge game. How can Manchester United hurt Manchester City in this one, Stuart Pearce?
Well, I think we talked about the defensive lineup of City as well. They're going to have to get Mbeumo doing what he's good at, running in behind. Whenever I've watched United this year, Ahmad's been he's been the biggest threat for me when he's on song a little bit, his ability to take people on, and Aki's got a big job in dealing with him. I think that's key for me. If they deal with Ahmad, it'll really dent United's opportunity of hurting them, but that's the big one for me. Ahmad's match up against Aki and Mbeumo running in behind.
We've seen Foden and Haaland so prolific, haven't we, in these Manchester derbies, but they've got a new man, Antoine Semenyo. How on earth are they going to stop him?
Well, there's a
so unpredictable. He's so unpredictable, and he can do absolutely everything, and he's so intelligent on the pitch as well, so fast. Tell me, how are they going to do it?
Well, put it this way, Luke Shaw's been around the block a fair bit. Whether you think his legs are going slightly at the moment, I think today is a massive test for him. The key is with wide players, no matter what those wide players are, Mickey will probably agree with me, stop the supply line. Get your position right, get your angles right, and send out a message to his City teammates. The pass isn't onto him. I can't afford to let him get it to feet and have a run at me.
Such a special game.
I couldn't agree with that more.
Sorry, Mickey.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with Stuart more there, Reshman. I think you look at Manchester United's side, and if you ask the question of who could play wide for them, who's going to help out defensively as well, the two you'd pick would be Ahmad and Patrick Dorgu. I think Sam's touched on it as well. They could actually play as a 5 at times.
Yeah.
I can't believe I just said that, Reshman, but I saw it at Burnley when they drew 2-2.
Yeah.
And Patrick Dorgu actually dropped into a 5 at times when they played against Burnley. I'm not quite sure you'll see that today, but I think he will have to help Luke Shaw out a lot today.
Pep has actually alluded to the point that they actually could as well in his pre-match ramblings as well. Just said they could be a back 4, they could be a back 5, and we've seen a back 3 all season. But, this is one thing we do know is that Manchester United have only had about 3 days to prepare for this game under Michael Carrick, so it will be fascinating to see what happens out on the pitch, but it does all go out the window, doesn't it, when it is Derby Day. Well, interestingly, only one of 6 Manchester United managers have ever won their first Premier League match in charge of United, and that was, in fact, the much maligned Ralph Rangnick back in 2021. He was the man who declared that this club needs not a quick fix, but open heart surgery. I'm sure many would argue that he had a point back then, and most certainly now. Stuttering and spluttering, inconsistent and incoherent, the glory United days, particularly those under Sir Alex Ferguson, have long fallen by the wayside as the noisy neighbours and others around them have overtaken them, exposing time and time again just how far the club have fallen into an identity crisis. And I tell you what, it hardly helps that Pep Guardiola boasts an impeccable record against United at Old Trafford. He's won 7 of his 14 games there. Well, Michael Carrick's heading out onto the pitch right now. He knows all about this rivalry. 2 clubs with no love lost between them. 2 managers in wildly differing moments of their careers. 1 city, 1 rivalry, and 1 huge game coming up for you live and exclusively on TalkSport. What an atmosphere at Old Trafford. It is just the small matter of a Manchester derby. Take it away, Stuart Pearce, Mickey Gray, but first, Sam Matterface.
Thank you, Reshmin. Welcome, everyone, to the theatre.
Oh.
What a goal!
Get in the ring. Go the distance. TalkSport 2.
And Fury's got it. A unanimous decision.
If you can kick it, hit it,
Bowl it.
pass it, putt it, pot it, or catch it.
Catch it. You'll find it right here on TalkSport 2. The prodigal son of all radio stations is on the air.
Can they make it 2?
TalkSport 2, because sport never stops.
We're sorry, this commentary is not available in your country. Please visit talksport.com/commentaries to hear an alternative stream or listen to TalkSport 2 for even more live sport.
TalkSport has so much sport, we're running out of radio to play it.
In fact, we've got enough rugby, cricket, horse racing, boxing, motor racing and golf for an entire other radio station.
And the thrilling games continue.
The prodigal son of all radio stations is on the air. TalkSport 2, because sport never stops.
There ain't no stopping them now.
Get set for more live sport, more incisive pundit comment and opinion, and more Andrew McKenna.
Thank you very much. That'll do.
Sport radio that hits you for 6. TalkSport 2.
Well, that's a ball, and he's bowled him. He's dragged it back onto the stumps.
Hard tackling live. Super League action.
Strong and hard and made of steel.
Live commentary of the UEFA Champions League.
Champions of Europe again.
Live Aviva Premiership Rugby.
They must surely score.
Golf coverage that's perfectly pitched.
We're not allowed to cry on radio. We're supposed to be tough.
Serving up live ATP Masters Series tennis.
And Andy Murray, with his head in his hands, goes to congratulate Novak Djokovic.
I'm so happy. TalkSport 2.
Live international football.
What a goal!
Get in the ring. Go the distance. TalkSport 2.
And Fury's got it. A unanimous decision.
If you can kick it, hit it,
Bowl it.
pass it, putt it, pot it, or catch it.
Catch it. You'll find it right here on TalkSport 2. The prodigal son of all radio stations is on the air.
Can they make it 2?
TalkSport 2, because sport never stops.
We're sorry, this commentary is not available in your country. Please visit talksport.com/commentaries to hear an alternative stream or listen to TalkSport 2 for even more live sport.
TalkSport has so much sport, we're running out of radio to play it.
In fact, we've got enough rugby, cricket, horse racing, boxing, motor racing and golf for an entire other radio station.
And the thrilling games continue.
The prodigal son of all radio stations is on the air. TalkSport 2, because sport never stops.
There ain't no stopping them now.
Get set for more live sport, more incisive pundit comment and opinion, and more Andrew McKenna.
Thank you very much. That'll do.
Sport radio that hits you for 6. TalkSport 2.
Well, that's a ball, and he's bowled him. He's dragged it back onto the stumps.
Hard tackling live. Super League action.
Strong and hard and made of
stood still.
Live commentary of the UEFA Champions League.
Champions of Europe again.
Live Aviva Premiership Rugby.
They must surely score.
Golf coverage that's perfectly pitched.
We're not allowed to cry on radio. We're supposed to be tough.
Serving up live ATP Masters Series tennis.
And Andy Murray, with his head in his hands, goes to congratulate Novak Djokovic.
I'm so happy. Talk Sport 2.
Live international football.
What a goal!
Get in the ring. Go the distance. Talk Sport 2.
And Fury's got it. A unanimous decision.
If you can kick it,
hit it.
Bowl it.
Pass it. Putt it. Pot it.
Or catch it.
Catch it. You'll find it right here on Talk Sport 2.
The prodigal son of all radio stations is on the air.
Can they make it too?
Talk Sport 2, because sport never stops.
We're sorry, this commentary is not available in your country. Please visit talksport.com/commentaries to hear an alternative stream or listen to TalkSport 2 for even more live sport.
Talk Sport has so much sport, we're running out of radio to play it.
And
far side. Luke Shaw comes out to him to engage. Jockeys as he comes back to the edge of the penalty area. Semenyo cuts in field. Left-footed cross into the penalty area. Header from Bernardo Silva, well over the crossbar.
Yeah, as we spoke about before the game, the two wide players, along with Erling Haaland, obviously, are going to be a bit of an issue. And as he makes the run across Diogo Dalot, he just manages to steal a yard. It's a difficult header, I have to say. Certainly for somebody who's not one renowned for heading the ball.
That'll be one that is a nice warning for Diogo Dalot. Will be aware that Bernardo Silva is going to want to try and make that run in future. Ball is poked out to the far side where Dorgu picks it up, finds Mainoo, back to Shaw. Shaw's going to dink one over the top, looking for the runner, Brian Mbeumo. What a ball that is from Luke Shaw, picked up by Mbeumo, smashed away in the end by a retreating Kuzanov. He is quick over the turf, is the Uzbekistani. Knocks it out of play on the far side.
Well, you've got to be to keep up with Brian Mbeumo, and he certainly did on that occasion, but that is the ball. Another really measured pass from Luke Shaw to get this Manchester City back line turned.
Ball is on the far side, waiting for the throw-in, dried on a white towel by Diogo Dalot. And it's going to be a long one from the Portuguese into the penalty area towards the near post, where it's headed away comfortably by Rodri. This is going to be picked up by Licha. Lisandro Martinez sends it back to Senna Lomans, picks it up midway inside his own half, under a little bit of pressure from Bernardo Silva, but he just takes a touch away and then fires one crossfield, which is hoisted back forward again by Phil Foden. Kobbie Mainoo looking to win this in midfield, steps away from Semenyo, then slides it through, looking for Dorgu, takes a deflection on the way through. Dorgu's done brilliantly to keep possession for United, spins into the penalty area, pulled to the ground. Anthony Taylor says no foul. City come away with the ball.
Ridiculous.
And then
Anthony Taylor's done that himself. He's done that himself.
Well, so let me try and explain. And he's got his right arm across the left leg, sort of hoists him with the left leg and dumps him on the ground. Meanwhile, Manchester City back in possession, look for a long ball forward, which is cut out by Maguire, chested down by Kobbie Mainoo, finds Patrick Dorgu, out to Ahmad. Ahmad plays this back down the line to Diogo Dalot. Dalot comes back to Harry Maguire. Well, Manchester United have been really good in the opening 17 minutes. They'll be looking to continue that with the positivity. Kobbie Mainoo sweeps a pass out to the right-hand side, collected by Diogo Dalot. Ahmad's outside him. Dalot's going to find Ahmad. No, overhit by the Portuguese. Out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah, obviously, it's a really good break, and he'll be disappointed, the Portuguese, that he hasn't found Ahmad, because we had people obviously queuing up in the box just to change the angle for the Ivorian to be able to put the ball in, and he just obviously takes his eye off it for a split second.
Well, Ahmad frustrated because he felt like he might have been able to do something in that position, but
As Dorgu found himself free left side of the area, got his shot across goal, and that was a good save by the Manchester City goalkeeper. And City are now going to come on the counter here. Doku running at Dolo, who's one of the two Manchester United players on a yellow card, and now Silva comes to join him. That was a big chance though, Andy Reid, for Doku.
Really good chance. What a pass by Bruno Fernandes as well. He picked out two players at the back post. I thought Mbeumo was going to just volley it, but he left it for Doku coming in at the back post, who didn't get the contact on it that he would have liked. It was a decent save, but a good chance. It's still pretty end-to-end this game, and waiting for the first goal, and it could come from either side.
It is good. It is good that it's got some needle stuff, though, isn't it? Anthony Taylor, after Maguire and Bernardo Silva had to push him out, just shook his head with like a parent looks at their children if they're arguing.
It was a bit like that, wasn't it? And obviously the size difference between Maguire and Bernardo was a lot different. But you know what? This is what derby games are like. I think the lads are really appreciating that both teams want to win. There's a few tackles flying in. There should have potentially been a red card for Dalot, but look, I think this is played in such great intensity and tempo, whereas previously the one at Etihad before at the beginning of the season, it wasn't like this. It was very dull. It was boring for a football neutral, or if you support Manchester United or Manchester City. But I think Manchester United so far have played really, really well, and City have fallen into the trap of trying to play through their numbers in midfield.
From the message I got from Alan Shearer, he also thought it was a red card. There are lots of words I've had to take out of that message, but he did in the end think it was a red card. Look, it's going well for the holders in the Women's F8 Cup. Hamish Marshall.
Very much so. Chelsea 2-0 up against Crystal Palace, very much in control. The second on 22 minutes. Lovely ball from Erin Cuthbert on the edge of the penalty area, and a clinical finish from Sam Kerr. Chelsea 2, Palace 0.
Let's go into the Championship. Coventry against Leicester with the leaders behind. Charlie Slater.
22 minutes on the clock. Yes, Leicester continue to lead by 1-0, but there is a wonderfully frantic pace to this game as well. Two really good chances for Leicester. Di Cordova really drew a brilliant save out of the goalkeeper, and then Okoli stuck a header just wide. And at the other end, from Mason Clark. If you should ever score an overhead kick, and I'm not sure you should ever score one because they're just not gimmies, but if there is one, Mason Clark should have scored this one. Overhead from about 5 yards out, put it just wide. Coventry on the attack. Van Eyck, ball into the penalty area, will be cleared away by Fatawu. 1-0 still to Leicester.
Obviously there's a long way to go, but as things stand, Ipswich are closing the gap on Coventry as well. Sohail Sahi.
Yeah, they're closing the gap on Middlesbrough and Coventry in the automatic places in the Championship. Ipswich lead Blackburn here at Portman Road by 2-0. Goals from Kashinitz, an own goal. That's his league debut, by the way, not his overall debut for Blackburn. And Jack Taylor forcing in the second. There were further opportunities through Dara O'Shea and also Wally Egley. Here's a terrific effort from the edge of the penalty box, well tipped over by the Blackburn goalkeeper. Ipswich 2, Blackburn 0.
Two teams in the playoff positions at the start of the day next. Emily Herbert.
0-0 between Watford and Millwall. Millwall have gone closest. Caleb Taylor meeting a header inside the 6-yard box, but Selvik reacting with a fingertip save to push it over. A strange moment here too. A ball boy a little too eager, stepping in from the touchline, collecting a ball before it had actually gone out of play. Whether it was heading for a corner or a throw, we will never know. All right in front of the travelling Millwall fans too. 24 minutes in, Watford 0, Millwall 0.
Let's go to Valley Parade next, where the leaders Cardiff were 1-0 up last time we were with Nick Hatton.
They've doubled it, Mark. Bradford City 0, Cardiff City 2. It is Callum Chambers that has doubled that lead. Recycled corner, low ball in, and there was Chambers just to flick it behind him out of the grasp of Sam Walker in the Bradford City goal. 24 minutes gone, Bradford City 0, Cardiff City 2.
Wigan and Bolton 0-0 as they approach the half-hour mark. Tranmere Walsall 0-0 in League 2, as is the game involving the leaders. Ben Croucher.
Chesterfield 0, Bromley 0. Bromley with the best chances. Corey Whiteley stinging the palms of Zach Hemmings from a tight angle. Pinnock volleying, acrobatically parried away from the edge of the box. Arthur's headed over from 10 yards when he just had to hit the target. And just now, Chesterfield have had their best chance. Bonnet, outstretched leg, just wide of the near post. Chesterfield 0, Bromley 0.
Early game in the National League is Hartlepool against Altrincham, and that is goalless. How is the Scottish Cup tie between Dunfermline and Hibs? Jane.
Well, let's goalless here at East End Park too. But I tell you what, Dunfermline have had a right good little spell here. They forced about 4 or 5 corners, really causing Hibs some problems. But Hibs defence have dealt well with those corners. Up at the other end, Hibs have had a couple of chances as well. But the Dunfermline goalkeeper Dennis Mehmet has certainly done his side proud. It's 0-0 in this one. Cracking cup tie.
And in the Women's FA Cup, holders Chelsea are 2-0 up on Crystal Palace. The other game, which is a little bit ahead, it was a 12:15 kick-off between Sunderland and London City Lionesses, and that is goalless. Do you sense, just going back to Crystal Palace, that if a bid came in for Mateta, because he's only got 18 months in his contract, they'd have to sanction him going in this transfer window as well, Steph?
I think that's the general feeling. I think the more that you think about with 18 months left in terms of his profile, his age, what he's done for Palace so far, I think even though Glasgow's not saying that it's about the transfer window, bringing transfers in, people leaving, I think that is, if you think of that spine of his team as potentially gone, the one that he's built apart from Dean Henderson. You look at, if Mateta was to go, you've got Eze, you've got Marquet. They are 3 very, very good players, and to lose that spine, it would be such a shame. And I think when them rumours come out, there's always kind of leverage towards it. So I'm probably more on the side of that he potentially could go this window.
I think when you look at the numbers as well, since Glasgow took charge in the Premier League, Mateta's the 4th top scorer with 35 goals. Only Isak, Salah and Erling Haaland have scored more goals in that period, so a big player. That being said, Uche's looked quite good in the Conference League this season. Obviously, it's a different level to the Premier League right now.
Didn't look very good last week.
He didn't look very good.
Do you not think that's like the model of Crystal Palace, though? Like, you look at the likes of Elise and Eze, like, they always build up a brilliant profile and then they sell them on for big figures, and then they do it again. That's their model. That's who they are.
But in fact, in all of those players that you mentioned, and the lad they took from Millwall as well, whose name is just Roman Essa.
Mm-hmm.
They're very good at scouting the lower leagues, aren't they, Phil?
They are, and it just goes to prove that you don't have to spend big money to have a success in the transfer window. But I always see Crystal Palace as doing the same thing because it's what they are.
In a complimentary way.
Yeah, in a nice way. That's not no disrespect. It's just every club will have a model of how they want to run the football club, and their model is to buy low and sell high, and it's proven that with the players that have gone on.
Do you think Mateta would suit a Premier League team who have Champions League football, or is he more destined to move abroad? So the irony being, he'd kind of suit Newcastle, wouldn't he?
Suit Newcastle. He'd suit any team that wants to play a focal point striker. And that's the big thing. Juve are the team that have been really linked with him, with Spalletti's taken over there, and they're playing some good football now. But he's perfect for Manchester United or another club that could have looked in the summer and evaluated, look, we can get a striker that we can hit early and we could play off. Newcastle would be perfect. I think you look at in and around other teams that need number 9s. He's a player that, even you look at Arsenal, you think he could do a really good job for Arsenal off their bench. I think it's going to be a massive World Cup for him because he really complements the likes of Kylian Mbappe and the French players that want to get in and around, that want to get on the ball. He is completely the opposite, and that's why it's perfect for them.
But he'd be the 5th striker at Arsenal, unless they stop using Mourinho as a striker.
You just need more strikers. City have got 20 wingers now, haven't they? So Arsenal's got to buy more number 9s until one works.
There we go. There's the neutral in the studio.
Very neutral. Very neutral point.
It's amazing how he turns a chat about Crystal Palace, Mateta, Arsenal and Juventus into a dig at City by the end of it. Let's go to another goal for the holders in the Women's FA Cup. Hamish.
Chelsea are into the next round of the FA Cup. They lead Crystal Palace 3-0. Gutu Reiten was fouled in the box, and Johanna Rytting-Kenyard stood up, slotted the penalty home. Chelsea 3-0 up. We played half an hour.
Let's go back to Old Trafford. Still goalless here. Lee Blakeman and Andy Reid.
Ahmad's looking really lively though down the right. He sent a couple of dangerous crosses in, and Bumo had the chance to take one a few moments ago, but he was just beaten to it by Kusanov in the end. City on the attack here. United have been the best side, but City with a big chance. Doku with the shot. Good block by Kobe Mainu. The key stats in this game so far: City dominating possession, 71% to Manchester United's 29. Manchester United though 2 shots on target. City haven't tested Senna Lomans yet, although they might do here. Andy, as Bernardo Silva whips it across the face of the goal, and the player who's had the least touches of anybody on the pitch Erling Haaland, which says quite a bit.
Yeah, City started to dominate possession, as you would expect. They're in the mid area of the pitch. They're keeping the ball quite well. They're finding pockets okay, but they haven't had anything in that forward area of the pitch of any note. But when they turn over the ball, with the fullbacks going high and the wingers staying really, really high, there's space for Ahmad and Dorgu in them wide areas. And what you find, when they do turn it over, there's forward runs from them Man United players really, really quickly, and they look the most likely to get a goal at this point in time, even though City are dominating possession.
I mean, I don't want to take Dave's job or anything, just thought I'd drop those in there. Big stats in this game so far in the opening half hour, but the key one is United 0 City.
Do you think Andy as well, he might have some difficult decisions to make, Michael Carrick, because he's got both full-backs on yellow cards, and you talked about the importance of the wide areas in this game?
Yeah, and I do think that that's where City will create something from. So he definitely will. What I will say is Dalot, I know he's made a poor tackle, but he's actually played quite well in this game, and he's ran forward, and I suppose that's the kind of best form of defending. If you can get Doku running towards his own goal, then he's not going to cause you any problems going the other way, and Dalot has done pretty well at that for most of the game.
Oh, City have lost it. Fernandez and Bruma. I think he was offside anyway, but it was intercepted by Kusanov. That's the third or fourth time, though, Andy, that Manchester City have been caught out playing from out of their own penalty area.
Yeah, Man United have pressed really well in this game. At times they've pressed really high, other times they've waited to go in that mid-block, and when it's come into the block, they've gone after it really, really well. But that was a big chance there.
Do you not think, Phil, that Manchester United's final ball sometimes is where the real issue is?
Yeah, but I think they look a threat at the minute. I'm just watching the game, and I think that United are obviously in that mid to low block, and they're allowing City to have the build-up and possession, but I think City have been really, really slow.
Fernandez forward, Ahmad looks offside, he's round the keeper, and Ahmad has scored, and then the offside flag does go up, ball in the net. We were right in line with it. He looked half a yard off, did Ahmad, kept his cool, rounded Donnarumma, in it went. I think that call, though, Andy Reid's going to be proven to be correct.
Yeah, he was offside. We could see it's right in line with us. But I tell you what, it was a really good move from Man United there. Casemiro with a lovely ball into Mbeumo, flicks it around the corner. And then there's that through ball from Fernandez. And Ahmad's just gone just a little bit too early there, I'm sure. But really, really good move from Man United there.
Just had a look at the replay. Just offside he looks, so it looks
Get it out your feet and ask the question of the goalkeeper.
Here's Fernandez again, onto Ahmad. Ahmad round the goalkeeper. Can he beat him? He's gone beyond him. He throws it into an empty net and the offside flag goes up. Manchester United's celebrations are diluted with the raising of the linesman's flag. He danced around Donnarumma and put the ball into the empty net, but he has to wait now for a VAR check because it was a marginal offside.
I've got to say, the linesmen this day and age and lineswomen are absolutely outstanding at their work, and there's every chance he's got this one right, but it's close, there's no doubt. Yeah, just off.
Looks to me like it's off. They're going to measure it with the semi-automated offside technology if that is working. Doesn't look to be too many bodies in the way, but he got away from Donnarumma, put the ball into the empty net. The Manchester United crowd exploded, but it is going to be offside, I think.
We're 30-odd minutes into the game, and 3 times now Donnarumma's had to hurry off his line. 2 he snuffed out. The last one he got nowhere near, and it ended up in the back of the net. We think it'll be chalked off, but that just tells you something. You've got 2 centre-halves, Sam, that played really well for Man City in midweek, who look a little bit nervy today. And I've got to say, and I don't think I've ever said this very often, Rodri's given the ball away a lot.
Offside confirmed by the VAR, who is Craig Pawson, and Anthony Taylor gives the free kick, so there is no goal for Manchester United, but there is encouragement, I think, Stuart Pearce.
Well, there certainly is. United, for this first moments with the new management team, look as though they've got a game plan, look as though they're hurrying City, and to be fair, on the run of play, United have had the ascendancy and the better chances.
It's still 0-0 though, and whilst it's 0-0, Manchester City will still be the favourites. This is Talk Sport, live at the Manchester Derby. Remember, we've got more live football for you this weekend. Of course, we'll take you round the grounds with Adrian Durham It's a super Saturday of action for the 3 o'clock kickoffs, and he will keep you in touch with absolutely everything, including those 2 big London derbies which take place at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Fernandez is penalised for nabbing the ball off Doku about 20 yards outside the penalty area. Free kick. But also keep you in touch with all the action from the Championship, League One, and right the way down through the divisions, and the full classified check at 5:15 today. The phone in 03717223344 with the boys after 5:30 as well. The best and first national radio phone in. As soon as you come out of the ground later on today, if you're on your way to one now, you can phone Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy, 03717223344. Here is Doku down the left-hand side, motoring towards the edge of the penalty area. He comes in on his right foot, produces a cross. That's not going anywhere. Senna Lomans, though, I think did get a touch on that as the ball went through from Doku. Well, he dived sort of wide of the goal, didn't touch anybody else, and they've given a corner as a result, Mickey Gray.
You've got to know your angles, and Senna Lomans will know that now. Your angles of your goal, and he must know that that ball is drifting wide of his far post, just to let it just drift out for a goal kick and put them under pressure now.
Yes, with 10 minutes to go before the conclusion of the first half. The corners will be taken far side from Foden. His left-footed delivery is much better than the other two. Ake with a head around the back, in towards Max-Alain. Good save by Lomans, who springs to his left and produces a brilliant fingertip save right next to the post. It came across to the far post. It was heading towards goal, and Lomans just about got there as Max-Alain headed it back towards the far corner.
Yeah, probably not enough pace on the ball to trouble the goalie, but the goalie had to make sure that was heading in, but no real pace on the ball, I don't think.
0-0 the score. Manchester United have only had 29% of the ball, but they've had some decent chances. 2 shots on target so far. Manchester City have just had their first one. Here is Jeremy Doku down the left-hand side. Back to Rodri. 37 on the clock, 0-0 on Talk Sport. Here on the left-hand side is Doku getting the ball from Bernardo Silva, who had been played in by Rodri. Now Ake left a corner of the penalty area, produces a cross which is headed away by Lisandro Martinez. He'll come back through to Lewis, headed on by Silva, away by Martinez, comes through to Semenyo far side. Dorgu is over there trying to harass him. He comes out of the penalty area, and Manchester City continue to put pressure on the United back line. Here is Kusanov. Far touchline is Antoine Semenyo. We haven't seen too much of him so far in an attacking sense for Manchester City today. Foden, edge of the area, trying to burst into the box. Shaw stops him, but only momentarily. Foden's got it back again. Now Semenyo, right side of the corner of the area. Back to Rodri. They're camped on the edge of the box here, lifting the ball into the area. The Spaniard away by Maguire. And then Mbeumo gets it clear. And now there's a run on to try and receive it over the halfway line. Alain against Mbeumo. And Alain just gets there ahead of the Cameroon star and gets it back to Donnarumma. But Manchester United's tactic is clear. Whenever they win the ball inside their own half, just get it up over the halfway line and chase as quickly as possible. Get runners in behind.
Well, the last 3 minutes of pressure from Man City have came from a mistake from Manchester United, Sam. That's why you've got to stay switched on in these games.
Well, that mistake was Senna Lomans touching a ball which was going well wide. Ball over on the far side by Semenyo. He made up from his mistake by making a good save straight afterwards, though. Here's Ake in space, 10 yards short of the Manchester United penalty area, in front of the Stretford end, which is away to our left as we look at it here in Old Trafford. Semenyo into Lewis, back out to the far side, collected by Kusanov, and then back to the left and Ake. Ake travels down the left touchline, produces a cross into the box. It falls for Lewis kindly. He sets it back for Rodri. He sends it further wide for Semenyo, who strikes towards the far corner but misses the target. And Senna Lomans just stops and watches it flash past the post, and it remains Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0. Tranmere have just lost the goal against Walsall. Walsall have taken the lead with Farquharson putting them in front this afternoon. It's 1-0 to Walsall. Let me just run through some of the other scores that have taken place already today, because we've got lots of games kicking off early across the country in the Championship. Leicester still 1-0 up away at Coventry on 2. Ipswich 2-0 up against Blackburn Rovers. And 0-0 Watford against Millwall. In the Women's FA Cup, Chelsea lead by 3-0. It's 0-0 Sunderland against London City. Wigan 0, Bolton 0, Cardiff 2-0 up away at Bradford in League 1. In League 2, Chesterfield 0, Bromley 0, and Tranmere 0, Walsall 1. In the National League, Hartlepool 0, Altrincham 0 is the latest scoreline, and Hibernian 0-0 away at Dunfermline in the Scottish Cup 4th round. You're up to date on Talk Sport. Brescianin will make sure you get all the half-time scores at the break from the London studio today, as Manchester United look to build again with Mainoo, who's on the halfway line, and then the ball goes back via Dalot to Maguire.
I think looking at the game, and this is quite surprising for me, if someone said to me...
Fernandes played in over the top, the referee has kept the flag down, and Fernandes is going through on goal. He goes round the goalkeeper, stops it, puts it into the empty net, and the flag stays down, and Bruno Fernandes runs away to the far side in celebration. The Manchester United crowd explode, and then the flag belatedly goes up from Gary Bezic on this near side, and Manchester United once again wait for the technology to do its work.
Well, we've had 4 occasions now in about 40 minutes where United have run in behind this back line of City and caused big problems, and the linesman's probably been their best defender for the last 10 minutes, I'd say. Yeah. Fractionally offside.
I think it's very tight, but he is actually offside. As long as the kick point there was right, then he is offside. Even he thought he was offside, Mickey Gray, because when he received the ball and went running through the middle, he glanced over his shoulder to look at the linesman.
Yeah, I think we see that a lot now, Sam, when you see that run from in behind, and Bruno Fernandes has done it on numerous occasions. What the worrying thing for me is this high line of Man City. You work on that in training. Well, if you look at how far Nathan Ake is behind his back line, that is a big concern for me, because
it's offside,
he's
so
defending
the goal
on his
won't
own.
Stand. Let's just make that clear. They very quickly checked that and passed that out. He is going to be disallowed here, Bruno Fernandes. But what I will say is this, is that Manchester United will be very disappointed, actually, that they're going to get to the break here without a lead, bearing in mind the chances they've had, Mickey.
Well, one of the things that Michael will be saying to his players, look, time your runs, and there's goals here for you today. Because they don't want to get in behind Man City. They want to stay in that high line, be comfortable, but they don't look comfortable at all.
Yeah, they really don't look comfortable with that high line. Oh, and it's won by Fernandes away from a lane, but Rodri is there to fill in at centre-back. Manchester United again trying to get it forward. 42 minutes on the clock, live on TalkSport in the Manchester derby. Here's Fernandes on the right side, right by the touchline, into Casemiro, to Mainoo, to Casemiro, to Fernandes, to Mainoo. They're keeping the ball inside City territory. That's good possession by Manchester United. And Michael Carrick trying to orchestrate things from the edge of the technical area. Very much looking in command. Lovely little swivel by Kobbie Mainoo. A player reborn, maybe. Plays the ball out to the left. Shaw with a cross into the area. Mbeumo can't get it under control, but he pops up and he tries to swivel and hit it. Can't quite connect with it. The ball spills out to the far side. Dorgu's got it once again. Into central midfield with Casemiro. Casemiro to Dalot. Dalot into Mainoo. A little flick into Dalot from Fernandes. It comes back out on the edge of the area, and City close ranks and just about get it clear. But it's Manchester United who are finishing the half stronger.
It's interesting. There's so much talent on the pitch as you would expect in a Manchester derby. But if someone pushed me and said, where's the goal coming from? I would say someone's going to give the ball away at the back and make a mistake or delay on the ball too much that leads to the goal the way things are going.
Maybe it will be one of the Mavericks, Fernandes or Foden, that come up with the special moment. And actually, I was listening to the How to Win the World Cup podcast that we've got on TalkSport this week. And they were talking about those magic players that can always provide the difference. In particular, and it's a brilliant podcast actually, Matt Ford, Alex Brooker and Emmanuel Petit. It's available on our TalkSport app or wherever you want to get your podcast from, talking about Zinedine Zidane and the influence he had on games, and actually his temperament, which was absolutely fascinating. Petit, brilliant. And he also talks about what his World Cup winners medal looks like. That's How to Win the World Cup on our TalkSport app. Here down the left-hand side is Doku, approaching the edge of the penalty area, back towards Ake, and then infield to Rodri. Rodri, 30 yards from goal, sends it wide out to Lewis, who's got a bit of space here. He feeds it into Foden, who's got his back to goal. He's just outside the area now. We're into the final minute, ahead of the half-time whistle here at Old Trafford, where it's Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0. And a lot of credit's got to go, I think, to Michael Carrick and Manchester United for the way they performed in the first half. But they can't just rest on their laurels, because Manchester City have got weapons all over the pitch that can hurt them. And there's still a long way to go in the game. Doku to the edge of the area. Max Alleyne under pressure from Casemiro. They circulate the ball so well when they keep it high up in opposition territory. Into the last 30 seconds of the first half with Semenyo now down on the right-hand side. They've horseshoed from left to right here, Manchester City, and United have dropped into a low block, and they're trying to plug all those areas where Manchester City love to exploit, those half spaces on the edge of the area. They forced them back to halfway. Now a lane travels down the side of the centre circle, nudges it back into the path of Kusanov, and he clips it out towards the left. 2 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. Mistake by Doku, does just about keep it in, and he nudges it out towards the far side. It's Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0. Here are the latest odds from Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage, where right now you can back Manchester United to win at 2-1. It's 15-8 the draw, 13-8 for Manchester City to win. That's all thanks to Betfair. Playing a different league this season with Safe Sub from Betfair. 18 plus, begambleaware.org. This is Talk Sport. Ake on the left for Manchester City, high up inside United territory. A lane down the touchline. Ake's taken that out. That's going to be a throw into Manchester United. And Michael Carrick just goes over, puts two palms to the sky and says, hold on, let's calm it down. The Manchester United players that aren't in the squad are just going down into the dressing room for the half-time team talk. Tom Heaton is there. You can also see Tyler Fredrickson and Joshua Zirkzee, who's picked up a knock and is not involved in the matchday squad today. They travelled underneath the south stand and they're going back to be part of the group for the half-time team talk. Dalot throws it down the touchline, down the Manchester United right, and Bomo thought that he was being held by Ake. It's won by Mainu, picked up by Dorgu. Dorgu travels away from Rodri, who trips him, and that is breaking up the promising attack and should be a yellow card for Rodri. And eventually the yellow card does come out from Anthony Taylor. Mickey Gray.
Yeah, it took him a little bit of time, Anthony Taylor, but after the two from United, I was just expecting Anthony Taylor from the foul from Rodri to pick his yellow card out straight out of his pocket. It's the right decision. And look, Sam, you know, for once, I've not had a look at stats in the game in the first half, United against City, and probably City have had more possession.
A lot more, yeah.
But the eyes are seeing Man United look a bigger threat to me.
Well, that's how it feels, sitting in this stadium as we are here on Talk Sport. Ball sent up towards the edge of the penalty area. There's a collision between Haaland and Maguire, and the free kick is given against Harry Maguire. Haaland is staying down, and the referee has decided that that'll do for the first 45 minutes, and it has been a really fiercely competitive first 45 minutes, and that's the appreciation from the Manchester United crowd of their team's performance in that first 45 minutes. Manchester United and Manchester City have both drawn their last three in the Premier League, so it shouldn't be a surprise that in this territorial turf tussle neither have taken full control, but Michael Carrick will be the happier of the bosses at half-time. There is just a bit of concern here for Erling Haaland, who has stayed down on the edge of the Manchester City penalty area away to our right as we reach the half-time break. He gingerly gets back to his feet now, but he's a player that Pep Guardiola will not want to lose. Steve Holland and Michael Carrick in close conversation as they go down the touchline at half-time, where it's Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0.
Sam, thank you very much indeed. Yeah, what a first half and what an explosive start for Manchester United as well. Michael Carrick certainly got his message across to this side, you'd have to say. Worrying to see Erling Haaland down, but he seems to be up and probably ready for that second half. Penny for Ruben Amorim's thoughts, because this is how Manchester United can play when they're on the front foot, Mickey Gray.
100%, Reshman, and I think in a derby game, you know, the first 5 or 10 minutes is always a war of attrition, and Man United came out with an intent that they were going to be stronger, fitter, better than Manchester City, and you send that message, whether it's coming from your full-backs, your centre-halves, or just one individual player to say, you're in a game today, mate. And it felt like that to me from Man United, and the atmosphere in the ground. It was like, right, they're up for this today. That is the most controlled and best 45 minutes of football I think I've watched from Manchester United in a long, long while. They haven't scored a goal and they're not in front in the game, but I think from back to front, I've been really impressed with them, Reshman, I have to say.
I was going to say, just the all-round performance, how hard they've had to work defensively, but how quick they've been on the turnover and bringing the ball forward as well, Stuart Pearce. So impressive.
Yeah, they're very well organised. They know what they're doing. The wide players have doubled up when they've had to defensively. Fernandes, for me, has been the star of their performance because he's knitted things together, coming short, and he cajoles players around him. I'm seeing him sort of coaching and Mbeumo, telling him where to go and whatever. But United are the team that will be the happiest at half-time, and we're just, for your information, everybody's gone in, the subs have gone in for both teams apart from Jerky and O'Reilly, and they're still out, and I've got a feeling they could both be coming on at half-time.
Yeah, I was going to say, because Pep Guardiola has to shake something up in this second half. They've just been caught napping a couple of times, just at times a little bit sloppy in possession, but no sharp intent that we sort of assumed that they would come out with in this game, Mickey.
Well, 4 times, Rashman, in the first 45 minutes, because they're trying to play that high line, and the clever runs in behind from Manchester United, albeit timed just unfortunately a little bit too quickly on their behalf. But 2 young, naive centre-halves who we saw in midweek against Newcastle, who they competed and they played very well, but they looked nervy at the beginning of the game. And even the experience of Rodri's been given the ball away on occasions. Look, he's been in his battles today in that first 45 minutes, a couple of knocks himself. But I think you could see from Pep in the technical area, he tried to pull Rico Lewis into that converted fullback area, if you like, trying to play him in midfield to give Rodri a little bit of help. But as soon as he did that, Dogu was out on the left-hand side, running in behind the fullbacks. Then you had Dalot on this right-hand side, getting in behind the fullbacks of Man City. And I think certainly Pep Guardiola at half-time's got a lot more to say to his players than Michael Carrick has.
It's interesting because he did allude to it actually in his pre-match thoughts. He just, he had no idea really what kind of Manchester United would be put out there, and Michael Carrick's had 3 days to turn this around. But has that sort of, I suppose, the air of surprise kind of caught him off guard a little bit, do you think, Stuart?
I just think the levels of performance from United maybe have, it's fair to say. I think none of us expected to come here today. I expected to see a fairly dominated performance by Manchester City, but they've given the ball away cheaply on occasion in their back line. They've passed it out of play in front of us probably on 4 or 5 occasions, from central defender to fullback and fullback to wide player, which is very uncharacteristic of them. And when they've got in advanced areas, they've recycled the ball quite well, but their 2 wide players haven't had the impact that probably myself and Mickey expected them to have.
I've just got to ask very quickly, I mean, Diogo Dalot, should he have seen red for that challenge on Jeremy Doku, which feels ages ago now, really early on in the game? He only got a yellow. Should it have been a red, Mickey?
Well, I never want to see players being sent off, Rashman, certainly for a challenge like that. And I think in his favour, he's made contact with the ball. But as I alluded to, if you go back to mine in Stuart's days, as a fullback, you wanted to leave one on your wide player as quick as you possibly could, where you won the ball, but you followed through and you looked at your wide player and you're in a game today, mate. No. It felt a little bit like that from me, from Dalot. I think he's had a very good first half, by the way, albeit he's given the ball away on a couple of occasions, but 1v1 he's been outstanding. But it was the follow-through, and as Stuart said, if you freeze frame it or you slowed it down, it probably looked worse than it was. So I think yellow was right.
Yellow was right. OK. Well, it is certainly Manchester United who are on the front foot in the ascendancy, but it is still goalless between these two sides. So it'll be a huge second half coming up shortly on TalkSport. Over on TalkSport 2, don't forget, it's Coventry against Leicester City, and Leicester City have taken the lead. They're a goal ahead at the CBS Arena. Elsewhere in the Championship, it's Ipswich 2, Blackburn 0, and it's also half-time at Vicarage Road. And here's TalkSport's Ian Abrahams.
Whereas Watford 0, Millwall 0, not a great half of football, if the truth be told. Best chances to Millwall. Caleb Taylor's header early doors tipped over by Selvek, and then we saw Femi Aziz and Alfie Doughty with shots that were high, wide and not very handsome from the edge of the penalty area. Not see much of, or anything really, of Imran Louza or Watford's front players. This can only get better. Watford 0, Millwall 0.
Thank you very much, Moose. Just to update you on some of the other latest scores, then in League One, it's Bradford City 0, Cardiff City 2, and Wigan and Bolton is goalless currently. In League 2, it's also goalless between Chesterfield and Bromley, whilst Tranmere are trailing Walsall at home by 2 goals. Such a busy weekend of action, isn't it? And don't forget that Jeff Stelling and Ali McCoist will be back on TalkSport Breakfast from 6 a.m. on Monday. They will be reacting to all of this weekend's football, including this huge game here at Old Trafford. They'll also be discussing Mark Gahey's impending move to Manchester City. I wonder if it will be official by then. Here at Old Trafford, though, if you've been listening, what a game we've had. Michael Carrick really getting his players to stand up and be counted. But it is currently Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0, and the second half is coming up next.
Game day exclusive on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
Imagine a place where you can escape for a day. Get immersed in a world of rooms, inspiration and expertise. Where you can laze in luxury accommodation. And kids can feast from 95 pence. Tickets are free to everyone and include all the attractions. You've just imagined a day out at IKEA. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
It's another day at Screwfix, and Mo Farah is still getting to grips with things.
So, Mo, with Sprint Delivery, we get the order to them in as little as 20 minutes. Okay? Mo?
Mo? Done. He was on the 18th floor.
Nice work. But, you know we use delivery riders, right?
Oh, now you tell me.
Sprint it in as little as 20 minutes. Screwfix. No stopping you. Conditions and geographical restrictions apply.
Incredible scenes here at the Village Hotel's Pub and Grill. Fans are taking their place in the fan zone with stadium-style seating, amazing views on huge screens, and we're underway. Lovely bit of dribbling there as she tackles the burger stack. Now they're getting down the wings. Sticky barbecue. Unbelievable. Oh, and he's hit the bar. And it's there! His favourite ice-cold beer. What a result! Catch every game live in the Pub and Grill at Village. Get in! Find out more at villagehotels.com.
He's having a blinder. He's clipped the post. He's looking formidable. Then... substitution. His game might be over, but yours isn't. With Betfair's Safe Sub, your bet simply rolls onto the player coming on. Playing a different league with Betfair.
Valid on selected leagues and markets only. Applies to singles, multiples and bet builder bets on qualified player outcome selections. Does not apply to odds boost. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18+. Gambleaware.org.
Oh, he's really opened up the Sun newspaper there, Jim.
No question, Clive. Straight in the middle and right into the free pull-out goals.
Goals, yes. The ultimate football coverage with the best expert writers. In-depth tactical analysis. Unrivaled coverage from every league and all the latest football action.
Think you've said it all there, Clive.
Sorry, Jim.
Not to worry, I was reading my copy of Goals anyway.
Get your free copy of Goals every Saturday, Sunday and Monday only in the Sun.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Sipping a morning coffee out on the terrace. Good morning, Mr. Squirrel.
Morning.
The kids building a tree, playing on the lawn.
We're playing real-life football!
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of April 2024 and 30th of June 2024 was under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
Hi, just leaving work now. Sorry it's a bit loud. Basically, so I was thinking we could get Mackey's tonight. Had a Big Mac on my mind all day, and delivery fee on the app is now from 99p. So, you in? Of course you are. Ha, love you. Bye.
Exclusively on the McDonald's app. 18+. Service fee and small order fee may apply. Participating restaurants. Serving times and T's and C's apply.
Game day exclusive on TalkSport with Sky Sports. Stream a massive month of sport this January on Sky Sports with a Now Month membership. 18+. From our internet terms apply. Award-winning live football commentary. Game day exclusive. TalkSport.
Hello everybody, this is Game Day Exclusive on TalkSport. I'm Reshmin Chowdhury and we're bringing you live and exclusive coverage in the Premier League of the Manchester Derby from Old Trafford. Don't forget TalkSport's new podcast, How to Win the World Cup, is available for you now on YouTube, the TalkSport app, and via your favourite podcast provider. Comedians Matt Ford and Alex Brooker will be speaking to French World Cup winner Emmanuel Petit about Mavericks and how to win the tournament and how he did win it in 1998 with France. New episodes will be available every week between now and the Summers Tournament in America. So it's been absolutely frantic, fast and furious at Old Trafford. It is still goalless though. Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0. And with that in mind, let's get the latest from Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage.
Odds update on TalkSport with Betfair. Play in a different league this season with Safe Sum from Betfair. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Oh, Joe Dyer, let's take a breath. That was quite a half, wasn't it? How is it all being reflected in the odds, Joe?
Yeah, it was indeed. It was a first half of a bit of everything, wasn't it, Reshmin? Just not the things, unfortunately, we needed for that treble.
Indeed.
Just a quick reminder on the selections from Sam. It's over 2.5 goals, the draw, and Ahmad shot on target. We do need something big in the second half, but that was a huge, entertaining first half. So let's not write anything off. Just before you switch away from me, just a quick flash look at the big betting markets for the second half. A reminder that pre-match odds told us that Man City were favourites to win this. They went off odds on, and we're going to see goals. Now those match odds are almost parity. It's 2-1 on the United win, 7-4 on City, and the same price for the draw. Goals, it seems slightly unlikely we're going to see over 2.5 one portion of Sam's bet. It's 23-10, and that went off at 2-1 on. So, huge entertaining first half, more of the same, and hopefully some of those goals will stick.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Joe. Great to talk to you as always. That odds update is all thanks to Betfair. Returns accurate as of 10 minutes ago. For verification, see betfair.com. Over 18s only. Conditions apply. Go to gambleaware.org.
Odds update on TalkSport with Betfair. Play in a different league this season with Safe Sum from Betfair. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Now, following us at 2:30, Adrian Durham will be taking you around the grounds with all the goals as they go in the Premier League. He's at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for Spurs against West Ham. We're already at that point, Adrian. It's being dubbed El Sakiko. But who's going to be Sakiko'd? Thomas Frank.
Well, they can't both
Nuno.
lose it, can they? I mean, they're in such terrible form. Actually, Thomas Frank has been quite optimistic in the programme, saying he looks forward to positive things happening in the future, but I'm not sure that's shared by many Spurs fans. But this one today is huge. It's a derby, and they're both down at the wrong end. It's not the only derby. Chelsea-Brentford is Liam Rossini's first Premier League game in charge. That's at 3. Leeds-Fulham at 3. Liverpool-Burnley at 3. Liverpool have drawn the last 3 Premier League games, and Sunderland against crisis club Crystal Palace at 3 as well. So it's a busy game day live.
It really is, isn't it? Thank you very much, Adrian. Great to talk to you as always. And Adrian will be here very shortly, as soon as we finish here at Old Trafford. And players are heading out. There's so much to discuss about this game, but we will bring you the second half very shortly indeed. I just want to ask Stuart Pearce, you were talking about some of the players that Pep Guardiola might turn to in the second half. What's it looking like? Is there any signs of who might be on?
Yeah, as I said to you at half-time, the warm-up was the indicator. Cherky and O'Reilly are on the touchline waiting to come on. Elaine and Sam, who's the other one going off?
Phil Foden, I think.
Phil Foden going off. So Haaland's okay after his injury scare.
Yeah.
And I think Pep had to do something, to be fair. You know, the team weren't firing.
They weren't firing. They need a bit of energy. It's certainly against a very energetic Manchester United side. Second half's about to kick off. So I'm going to hand you back. Stuart's involved. Mickey Gray's involved. But I'm going to hand over to Sam Matterface first.
Phil Foden will not be happy about that. Usually comes up with an impact on Derby Day. 8 goals in his last 8 starts against Manchester United. But he's been taken off at half-time. He was pretty ineffectual, actually, in the game I was at in midweek. And he hasn't scored in any of his last, now 8 games, after scoring 10 goals this season. And Ryan Cherky has come on to make an impact and has actually been a very good and useful acquisition for Manchester City as we get underway in the second half. So the 2 changes, O'Reilly and Cherky for Max, Elaine and Foden. It means Ake goes into the middle of the defence alongside Kusanov, and O'Reilly goes out towards the far side in the left fullback position. Ahmad testing him early with Dallo, who gets into the box, and it's a lovely ball through the 6-yard box, but there's 3 queuing up at the far post that cannot finish it off for Manchester United. Ahmad in the 10 position, working it out to Dallo from the right corner of the area. He fizzed the ball through the 6-yard box. Dorgu was arriving at the far post. Fernandez was there as well. Mbeumo was also going towards it, but none of them, Stuart Pearce, could apply the finishing touch.
No, they couldn't. If I'm going to be really, really critical of Dalot, he's done really well. He's fired it across, but could he have put some fade on it with a bit of curl coming back into the forwards? Who knows?
Well, it's still 0-0. I'll go through the 2-11s for you as we start the second half with Manchester United red shirts, white shorts, black socks. Attacking the goal away to our left, the Stretford end with goalkeeper Lomans, who made a good save. Dalot booked at right back, Maguire, Martinez and Shaw the back four, Casemiro, Mainu, then Ahmad, Fernandez and Dorgu behind Mbeumo in attack. For Manchester City, the visitors, Donnarumma is their goalkeeper. In midfield, in front of him, Donnarumma, they've got Lewis, Kusanov, Ake and O'Reilly. Then it's Rodri holding in midfield with Semenyo, Cherki, Silva and Doku behind Haaland. And there was a foul given there in the middle of the Manchester United half, which I don't think Lisandro Martinez was too happy about.
Yeah, I think it was for the previous challenge, Sam. Anthony Taylor tried to play on, and I think he had to pull it back when Lisandro Martinez made a wonderful challenge, I have to say. But it's been a bright start to the second half. I was just looking down at Pep Guardiola from that chance from Dalot, the cross. He just looked at the ground, shaking his head, as if he wanted a brighter start from his team, but it hasn't yet come.
Not yet it hasn't, but Nico O'Reilly is taking the ball down the left-hand side, almost miscontrolled it and invited Ahmad to pinch it. Ahmad has pinched it. He's going down the right-hand side. O'Reilly has brought him down. That's going to be a yellow card for Nico O'Reilly. He's only been on the pitch 2 minutes and 39 seconds, and he's picked up a yellow card after having his pocket pinched by Amad Diallo.
Well, the same pattern as the first half, players dallying on the ball too long, and it was a fresh player to the challenge. O'Reilly, on that occasion, messed around with the ball so long, Ahmad said, I'll have some of that, and off he went.
Now, I still think we'll have a lot of discussion in the post-match analysis of this game about the possibility that Diogo Dalot could have been sent off in that first 45 minutes for his challenge on Jeremy Doku, and that is one for discussion, I think. Fernandez from the right side with a free kick into the box. It's headed away by Haaland, drops inside the 18-yard box that Manchester City are defending, eventually cleared by Rodri to halfway. Fernandez inside the centre circle out to the left, and Dorgu takes it over the halfway line, and then it's into Shaw, and it goes out of play on this near side. Now, Stuart and I were having a discussion about that potential red card at half-time, and I said to you, I think under the current application of the laws, I was a little bit surprised that he wasn't sent off. I'm pleased he wasn't for the game, because it was a brilliant first 45 minutes, but I think Pep Guardiola will have something to say about it.
Yeah, as you say, in the interpretation of the laws, there's individuals that probably might suggest it was a sending off, but we sit up here, we've not got a vested interest, and we're thinking for the good of the game, stay on the pitch.
Absolutely. Here's Semenyo moving up towards the edge of the area. Cherki trying to unlock the Manchester United backline. Can't get hold of the ball, loses it, then retrieves it and goes backwards. Pep Lijnders, who is the assistant manager of Manchester City these days, formerly of Liverpool, is clapping and shouting and trying to encourage his team, because I think they felt that first 45 minutes was a little bit inadequate, really. Manchester City. Manchester United, I think, will probably have gone in a little bit disappointed that they didn't establish a lead in the match. It's Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0. This is TalkSport, and Ake feeding the ball towards Cherki, who steps over it because he felt that Silva was coming behind him. Casemiro finds Bruno Fernandes, who immediately sends it forward, but Mbeumo was in an offside position. I must admit, he's been playing football at the AFCON, but he looks to me a little bit rusty today, Mickey Gray.
Wait, Mbeumo?
Yeah, Mbeumo.
Well, I still think he's made some very good runs in behind, and his hold-up play's been okay. It hasn't been fantastic, but yeah, you're right. That volley that he had the chance of taking in the first half and passed it by for Patrick Dorgu, I think that's an opportunity a couple of weeks ago that he takes on himself.
Semenyo playing the ball infield to Lewis. Lewis across to Rodri. Rodri back to O'Reilly, who's just in front of the centre circle. Sun trying to peer through the dark clouds above our heads here at Old Trafford, where it's still Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0. We've played 5.5 minutes of the second half here, and City have possession on halfway. Nico O'Reilly turns and fires it back to Ake. Manchester United just trying to pressurise City into making a mistake, and they made a few of those at the back in the early part of the game. Maguire after the ball is cleared by O'Reilly, forced into an error by Ahmad, picks the ball out of the sky and floats it forward. And Mbeumo is encouraged to run with Ake. Ake gets in front of him, steers it away, but it's going to be Bruno Fernandes who wins it in the middle of the park. He helps it on to Dorgu in the left wing position. He attacks the penalty area. He's got Fernandes to his right. He's got Shaw as an option. Fernandes travels with the ball down in towards the left wing position, gives it back to Shaw. Now Mainoo takes over. And then he turns it back to Martinez, and Manchester United now keep possession inside opposition territory. It's good from Dalot, coming in past Doku and feeding Ahmad, who gets up to the edge of the area, gives it to Dalot again. Bit more space for Mbeumo, out wide on the right, in towards the near post, headed away by Kusanov as Ahmad slips and it comes back out of the penalty area. They tried to fire the ball into the ground, Casemiro from midway inside the Manchester City half, but it didn't reach Fernandes. It's come out to Shaw, who gets a back heel from Fernandes, and now he continues his run onto Dorgu, who gets the wrong side of Kusanov, goes down. Referee says he ran across the line of his body and asked for the free kick, and I've got to say, Stuart Pearce, I make him right.
Yeah, he was absolutely spot on. I think it's never easy to referee in the Premier League, especially big derby games like this with the crowd being as volatile as they are. But I think the referee's done well.
Well, foul by Dorgu on Rico Lewis. 52 gone. Manchester City with half-time tactical tweaks to try and get them a little bit more into the flow of the game. Pep Guardiola has won 7 of 14 games at Old Trafford in his managerial career, the only away manager to win more. Brian Clough, who won 8 of 24 at Manchester United's ground. So a win today and Pep will join an exclusive club. Here is Semenyo. Down the Manchester City right. Casemiro comes across. Fernandes away. Oh, he's fired that straight to Rodri. And now Cherki in the 10 position. Feeds it to Semenyo. Down the right side. Across comes Martinez. Back to Cherki, edge of the box. Tries to put it through the legs of Kobbie Mainoo. And Mbeumo gets the rebound. And now Ahmad looks to speed forward. Didn't look in his wing mirrors. And Bernardo Silva came from behind and pinched it. And he's travelled up and played it into Rodri. Rodri to Cherki. On towards Doku. And Dalot's given it away. And now Haaland with a chance to shoot. Blocked by Martinez. And over the top of the bar it goes. And out for a Manchester City corner.
Well, we've just seen a phase of play there in front of us that lasted for about 30 seconds. And in that, 3 players give the ball away for either side. And it resulted in an effort at goal. And that's what will define this game eventually.
Corner kick away to our right-hand side. Bernardo Silva places the ball down inside the quadrant and prepares to elevate the ball into the box, left-footed. It's Bernardo Silva with the delivery. Senna Lomans comes and claims it, and it's very confident goalkeeping. He doesn't punch, he catches that ball. He bowls it out towards the near side. Across comes Kusanov, slides it out, and Brian Mbeumo can't quite reach it. He gets a slap of the hands from his tall, slender manager, Michael Carrick, again, who's just trying to calm proceedings down as Coventry equalise against Leicester City. Coventry have had a bit of a bad run over the Christmas period, hoping to stretch their lead to 6 points with the victory today at the top of the Championship, but they've only won 2 of their last 9 in all competitions. Chelsea women are 4-0 up in the FA Cup against Crystal Palace women, and they're dominating proceedings there. And remember, we'll be round our grounds to give you all the team news in just a few moments. London City Lionesses have taken the lead away at Sunderland in the FA Cup. They lead by 1-0. Here is Nico O'Reilly over the far side. 10 minutes into the second half here, as the ball's collected by Doku. Bit of space for Rodri, edge of the penalty area. Slips it to the right. It's Rico Lewis who dances infield. Now onto Haaland. Gets some room to turn, shoot. A block by Maguire, who might well just have overstretched his hamstring there as he did so. He might have hurt himself. The ball's come back out of the penalty area into Bernardo Silva as City continue to apply the pressure. Rico Lewis going down the right side, nudges it into the path of Semenyo. But Lisandro Martinez is alert to the danger, pinches it and gets it clear.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at Harry Maguire, Sam. I think he's okay, but it's always a concern when a player's been out for as long as Harry has and how important he's become to Manchester United. The last thing they need to do is lose your talisman centre-half. You're just starting to get into the game now. Is it starting to open up a little bit more?
And the last meeting between the two ended in a Manchester City victory by 3-0 back at the 14th of September. Foden and Haaland scored the goals, but Manchester United have pinched it inside their own half and they're looking to come forward. Dalot just slowed up and invited the challenge from Doku. And it's going to be a free kick to Manchester United on the halfway line, Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, as I say, I think...
Fernandes in behind the defence, can't get it under control. The offside flag would have gone up eventually anyway, I think. He quickly took the free kick, and again, Fernandes just straying.
Yeah, that last United break, I think Dalot and Mbeumo were the two that were breaking, and I think Mbeumo got rid of the ball too quickly, personally. I think he should have held on to it a touch longer.
I think Manchester United have got more weapons on their bench today than Manchester City. It might be interesting to see if that decides the game. Here's Ahmad over on the far side. Lovely ball by Dorgu. Picked up by Ahmad. Left-footed shot. Saved by the goalkeeper. Casemiro is there. It's a double save from Donnarumma to deny Manchester United. A brilliant point-blank range save from Casemiro inside the penalty area. He stumbled just at the last moment, pulled the trigger, but Donnarumma was there.
He's been absolutely vital today, Donnarumma. A couple of times sweeping up behind when the linesman hasn't been able to help the back line out. And a couple of very, very good saves. Once again, this high line from City has nearly cost them.
Well, Ahmad over on the right, cutting in on his left, driving a shot forward, blocked and saved by Donnarumma. And then as Casemiro was closing in inside the 6-yard box to finish off the chance, he got back up and managed to make himself huge enough to be able to stop the second attempt. It came back off of Casemiro and went out for a goal kick. It's a terrific save, Mickey Gray.
Both incredible saves. Call me a cynic if you want to, Sam. But I think he should go to ground, Casemiro. And I think the referee's got a massive call because there's contact there. And in the contact, he's got away from O'Reilly. It's a penalty all day long.
Well, that's another one that will be up for debate after the game. Certainly will be highlighted, I'm sure, because every moment is. 58 minutes gone. Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0. And remember, whatever debates you're having now amongst your mates, having seen that first half chance of possibly a red card or the Manchester United opportunities in that first 45 minutes, and you want to discuss them with Jason Cundy and Jamie O'Hara, 5:30 tonight, the first time you get the opportunity to do that on national radio. 03717 22 33 44. Park your calls now if you want. You can send us WhatsApp and they'll get to them. Here is Cherki travelling down the right side of the Manchester United penalty area, tried to backheel it to Semenyo. It was cut out by Kobbie Mainoo, who's had a very good game actually, I think, in the Manchester United midfield. Back to Dorgu.
I'm delighted to see him back in the fold here and playing in the Premier League, Mainoo. I think for England's sake, if nothing else.
First start in the Premier League since May 2025. Stuart Pearce shaking his head.
I can't believe it's so long. Honestly, yeah. I cannot believe that someone of his talent who come through has lost his way as he has done and not had a start since then. Incredible.
Well, a change of manager, change of coach might well be the thing that he needs. Here's Rico Lewis poking the ball out towards Semenyo, who's down by the corner flag on the near side, the Manchester City right. He travels to take on Luke Shaw. In the penalty area is Bernardo Silva, surrounded by red jerseys. It's very tight and compact on the edge of the box. United shuffle the way out to the far side and City keep hold of the ball, but are now being kept at arm's length. We've played 60 minutes. We're on the hour mark on TalkSport, and it's Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0. With Doku in possession on the left-hand side, trying to tease his way into a crossing position. He lays it back to Rodri, who's on the edge of the area, 6 yards back, and now stretching is Kusanov. Kusanov back to Ake, and then Ake looks up, looks to try and find a way to pierce the Manchester United back line. Remember, Manchester United have only kept 2 clean sheets all season against Sunderland and Newcastle, and they're trying to keep the big scorers, the top scorers in the land out today. Let's go off to some of our 3 o'clock kickoffs. We've got team news coming in from the game at Stamford Bridge, a West London derby. Liam Rossigna against Keith Andrews, and watching for TalkSport is our chief football correspondent Alex Crook.
And Rossigna makes 5 changes from the side that lost here to Arsenal in the EFL Cup in midweek. James Tosin, Caicedo, Garnacho and Palmer all come in.
Sicherheit in der zweiten Minute.
Sportschau live.
Der Nachspielzeit
geht auf die rechte Seite zu Tim Janisch. Dann
mistake by Mainu, who's given the ball away, and Manchester United quickly flex back into shape, and Casemiro gets his mate out of dodge as the ball was falling to Erling Haaland, and that was a little bit of a mistake by the England youngster. Maguire drives forward with the ball at his feet. He weaves away from Doku and bursts to halfway. Ahmad takes over. He finds Diogo Dalot. 62 on the clock. It's TalkSport at the Manchester derby. Fernandes infield, slowing the pace of the game down, giving it to Mainu, lending it to Ahmad, and then back to Fernandes again. Dorgu looking to make a run. The ball is sprayed by the Portuguese out towards Shaw, whose bulky figure takes the ball on his chest and then gives it into Dorgu. Dorgu into Mainu. There's a collision off the ball inside the penalty area. Fernandes has gone down. Manchester United trying to find a way to get into the box. Fernandes still on the floor. Here is Mainu, wide of the penalty area. Shaw picks it up, plays it left. It's back into Shaw again. They're keeping the ball on the edge of the box here, Manchester United. Fernandes back on his feet now as Dorgu goes down the inside left channel. He's got Kusanov for company, and Kusanov just sort of brushes him off the ball, wins it and turns and fires it clear, Mickey Gray.
Yeah, in a foot race, I don't think there's many quicker than Kusanov.
Brilliant for Martinez to win it ahead of Haaland. And then back to Mainu, who sprays it to the right. Fernandes onto Amad Diallo, right edge of the area for Manchester United. Fernandes with a chance to cross now. He pings it into the box. Here's Mbeumo. Oh, it's a wonderful save again from Donnarumma. He's fast becoming the star of this Manchester derby. It's a brilliant instinctive save from the giant goalkeeper at just the right moment for Manchester City. Well, now there's a bit of fury because Maguire has been penalised for a foul on Haaland, and they think, the Manchester United supporters, that it should have gone the other way and that he got the ball.
What a game we got on our hands, but once again Manchester City bailed out by Donnarumma. Really good opportunity at the far post there, smashed into the ground, but he got a solid palm on it to get it away from the danger zone. Well, and then on the counter, Haaland, first time we've seen him open his legs and drive, but too many United players in and around him.
Well, Mbeumo from a Fernandes cross at the far post into the ground and saved by Donnarumma. It was an excellent stop again by the goalkeeper, who is fast becoming the story of this derby.
He's in trouble, Harry Maguire, here, Sam. The way he landed, the way he tried to make that challenge with Erling Haaland. It's not his hamstring, as we touched on earlier, it's more his knee. His foot gets caught in the ground, and I think Haaland's body weight falls upon his knee. Thankfully, he's back up on his feet. But I'll go back to saying, he's been out for between 8 to 10 weeks. And those little knocks start to worry on a body like that, and you start to think to yourself, is it maybe time to make a change? I hope it's not the case. I think he's done very well today, Harry Maguire.
He has, and he's just walking back into the Manchester United back line. Well, I say walking back, that's probably an overstatement. He's hobbling back into the Manchester United back line to try and keep Manchester City at bay. 65 gone. Cherki's free kick into the area. It's Harry Maguire with the header, and then Mbeumo, and it's 3-on-2 in Manchester United's favour, and they're bursting forward. Now it's 4-on-2, and it's being led by Fernandes, and now it's Mbeumo to finish it. He does, and Manchester United lead on the breakaway. Bryan Mbeumo is back from Africa and back on the score sheet for Manchester United, who lead in the 198th Manchester derby. A breakaway goal of rapid speed, and Bryan Mbeumo jumps into the air in celebration. Manchester United lead by a goal to nil.
Absolutely outstanding break. They went, 4 players in red shirts flew, but more importantly for them, it was Fernandes, the ball carrier. He's the one who was going to supply the pass. He was the one who's going to put the right weight on the pass, and you knew integrally he had to have something to do with a United goal, and he has done. And Mbeumo, good run and great finish.
Absolutely fantastic from Manchester United. A breakaway goal at breakneck speed, and they lead the derby by a goal to nil.
Well, this place is absolutely bedlam right now, as you can imagine. And I'm going to pick out Harry Maguire. At the beginning of this move, He was down on the ground, his knee was sore, he's just having treatment in front of us now. The free kick from City comes into the area. Harry Maguire clears his lines to start that break for Manchester United. And what a break that was. Counter-attacking football at its best.
I have to say, over the course of the 66 minutes we've had so far, it's richly deserved by Manchester United, Stuart Pearce.
Without a doubt, their performance today, organised, hard-working, exactly what... If you're going to finish in the top, I think a victory today will put them 4th today in the Premier League. If you're going to finish in the top 4, you've got to emulate this performance week in, week out. We've rarely seen it from United. It's been up, it's been down, but this is very organised. I think the coaching staff have gone back to players they think they can trust in Maguire, in Mainu, in Shaw, and it's paying dividends.
Martinez comes across and stops Rico Lewis in his track. Be interesting to see the tactics that they employ now, Stuart, because they've got a lead to defend Manchester United. They've got something to lose in the game. I think they started the match very much in a situation where they had nothing to lose.
No, and as I say, they've played with freedom within a good shape, but I think it won't hurt them going in front because they'll carry on in this same way. City will come onto them and it just might free up even more space behind their back line.
Fernandes helps it on towards the right-hand side, and now Ahmad is racing into the penalty area. He gets down the outside, drives the shot goalwards, it trickles past the post, and it goes out for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. And Manchester United again cause problems for that Manchester City back line, and Amad Diallo this time was the one leading the charge. Manchester United 1, Manchester City 0. Live on TalkSport. Let's go off to Tottenham Hotspur. I must admit, I lost who was there in the noise of Old Trafford. So let's speak to Ollie Clink. Here's Ollie Clink who's there.
Yeah, where Conor Gallagher will make his Tottenham debut. Sam Romero and Kolo Muani also in for Spurs following their cup loss to Villa. As for West Ham, 5 changes from their win over QPR. A first Premier League start for new signing Pablo, Areola, Scarles, Souček and Fernandes also in for the Hammers.
This is TalkSport. We're live at Old Trafford. I have to tell you that I was looking at the statistics earlier this week about Manchester City when they concede the first goal in the game. They aren't great at coming from behind. They've lost every match when they've conceded first this season. And they've conceded first in the Manchester derby. And Manchester United supporters are very much in fine voice here. Ball swung out towards the left-hand side. It's collected by Doku of Manchester City, and it's going to be a free kick given against Ahmad over on the far side, who just got a little bit eager in his attempts to win the ball right on the edge of the penalty area. It's a free kick to Manchester City. Currently Manchester United 1, Manchester City 0. Live on TalkSport with the latest odds from Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage, where right now you can back Manchester United to win the game at 5-2, back the draw at 3-1, or back Manchester City at 11-1. That's all thanks to Betfair, playing a different league this season with safe sub from Betfair. 18 plus, begambleaware.org. Here's the free kick, a chance maybe for the away side to respond to the damage done by that goal from Mbeumo. It's in by Cherki towards the near post, flicked into the air by Dallo. It goes out for a corner kick. There's going to be a substitution here. And I mentioned that I thought there was more weapons on the Manchester United bench than the City one. In terms of volume, really, there are obviously weapons on the bench for Manchester City, but Matheus Cunha is about to enter the game. Here's, again, Cherki with the delivery in towards the near post. It goes past Casemiro, and then I think there was some pushing inside the penalty area. Going down was Martinez and Maguire, and a free kick given to Manchester United. Let's go off to Anfield and get the team news ahead of the 3 p.m. kickoff. Right now, Liverpool have dropped into 5th position, but they can overtake Manchester United again if either the scoreline changes here or they win this afternoon, and Matt Jones will be watching.
2 changes for Liverpool from their last league game. Bradley's injured, McAllister drops to the bench, Jones and Ekitike start. As for Burnley, their last top-flight match was that draw with Man United. Tuanzebe and Anthony come in from that game. Laurent and Hannibal drop to the bench. Liverpool against Burnley from 3.
Here's the change. Mbeumo, who has taken the roof off Old Trafford with his goal in the Manchester derby, has been replaced by Matheus Cunha, and he had a couple of opportunities, Mbeumo, before the goal, but when it counted, he did turn up.
Yeah, he did. And I just looked again at the goal and the build-up to the goal. Fernandes does so well with a discreet movement of his body. He's moved the ball to the right slightly, and Kusanov has tracked that movement, and then he's played it to his left. And Kusanov has got no recovery then. Really clever play by Fernandes.
Here is Semenyo. A bit of clever play from him required now as he dances through the Manchester United defence. Guess who's there? Standing in the way. The wall that is Harry Maguire. Dorgu Daughters, and that allows Lewis to pinch it. Into the air it goes. Comes back out on the edge. Then across comes Cunha before Bernardo Silva can settle the ball and hit it. And Manchester United defend it well. Right-footed from inside the right full-back position. Dalot clears. Cunha back to Casemiro. They come forward now with Bruno Fernandes. It's a little bit loose from Casemiro, but O'Reilly puts it out. It's a Manchester United throw over on the far side. 72 gone. This is Talk Sport.
They're playing with spirit, United, aren't they? You know, Mickey, they're really at it at the moment. The crowd are getting behind the team. They've been buoyed up by this performance, and the goals just enhance that performance.
Well, I think the other key thing that we need to sort of illustrate here is that as it stands right now, Manchester City will be 6 points behind Arsenal, with Arsenal having the opportunity to extend that lead at Nottingham Forest later on today.
Yeah, I mean, that's massive, isn't it, Sam? You know, 6 points is doable, but you think any more than that, and we're into the second half of the season now, and probably thinking, and all on the same page, Arsenal are not going to slip up too many times, which is why this was a massive game for Man City today. Look, there's still plenty of time to go, of course, but I think the way that Manchester United have approached this game, look, I'm just going to single him. Harry Maguire has been absolutely immense today. Defensively, starting off counter-attacks, throwing his body on the line, diving at headers that are a foot off the ground when he can get a boot in your face. He's just been everywhere. And it's fantastic to watch.
Casemiro's just got an elbow in the face from Erling Haaland, who's had one chance today. It was blocked by Lisandro Martinez. Manchester United hit the bar through Harry Maguire in the first couple of minutes of the game, and then have gone on to take the lead after several chances. Here's Semenyo, though, coming through the penalty area on the right-hand side as Manchester City look to get back into the game, but he's overhit that pass, and it goes right the way through the box. By the way, that big game between Nottingham Forest and Arsenal, we'll keep you up to date with it with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy on the full-time phone in this evening from 5:30. We'll have updates of that game, and we'll take your calls as well. And remember, all the fallout from what is a massive weekend at the top and the bottom of the Premier League this weekend will be with Jeff Stelling, Ali McCoy. It's Monday morning, 6 o'clock. Talk Sports Superstar Breakfast doesn't get much better. Than waking up with the boys 6 o'clock every single morning. You've got Jeff and Ali Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Friday. Alan Brazil is back in the chair. So make sure you tune in to Talk Sports. Set your alarm, turn on the radio. It's the best way to wake up. 1-0 to Manchester United here. What's happening at Sunderland Stadium of Light? Talk Sports, Graham Courtney.
Yeah, and a bit like Mbumo at Man United, Sunderland have players returning from AFCON. They make 3 changes from their defeat at Brentford. Dingra, Geertruida and Rigg drop down to the bench. Mundell and, back from Africa, Siddiqui and Reynildo. Palace, couple of changes. Gay and Canvo are out. Lerma and Richards come in. It's Sunderland Palace Stadium of Light.
Interesting. Back here, it's 1-0 to Manchester United, leading Manchester City courtesy of that goal from Brian Mbumo. It's Rico Lewis on the attack, though, and he's been dispossessed by Dorgu here, and Dorgu's getting away, and Rico Lewis has got himself booked because he's tugged him back and decided that Dorgu will go no further, and it is going to be a yellow card. Mike McCarthy is at Ellen Road with Team News.
3 changes for Leeds and a big one in goal. Lucas Perry dropped in favour of Carl Darlow. Bogle and Okafor also start with Statch and Biol missing. New signing for Kundo Buonanotte on the bench. For Fulham, 2 changes. Lukic and Sessegnon come in for Diop and Kearney.
Remember, we're around the grounds with Adrian Durham from 2:30 this afternoon. And interesting, that Team News from the Stadium of Light does include the fact that Jean-Philippe Mateta is in the starting lineup despite links earlier with a move to Italian football in the Championship. Coventry 1, Leicester 1. Ipswich 2, Blackburn 0. Watford 0, Millwall 0 with 20 minutes to go. The Women's FA Cup London City Lionesses lead Sunderland by a goal to nil going into stoppage time. And Chelsea 5-0 up now against Crystal Palace. In League 1, Cardiff are winning. Wigan and Bolton are drawing. In League 2, it's 0-0 Chesterfield Bromley, and Walsall are 3-0 up away at Tranmere. As the ball comes into the penalty area, looking for Dorgu, and Dorgu gets on the end of it to finish it. Cunha's cross, after dispossessing O'Reilly on the right-hand side, produces a ball into the box, and Dorgu comes sneaking in at the far post. Manchester United take a 2-goal lead, and on the day that Manchester is at its most divided, it's the red half of the town that looks united. Patrick Dorgu, maybe a surprise inclusion today, scores Manchester United's second goal, and they lead with 15 minutes to go by 2-0.
Well, that goal probably encapsulated the difference between the two teams today. Dorgu wanted it more than Rico Lewis. He drove in front of him and prodded it into the back of the net. And City don't look as though they got a response to this.
Well, this is astounding, isn't it? Michael Gray, our Manchester correspondent, you've watched them. There was no chance of Manchester United scoring a goal there. Their centre-forward had the ball down the right-hand side of the penalty area. There was no one to aim at inside the box apart from Patrick Dorgu. Cunha has gone down the right. Now, is Dorgu offside in the build-up? I don't think he is. Cunha's gone past O'Reilly too easy. He's beaten. There's 4 Manchester City players inside the penalty area as the ball comes in, but it's Dorgu who makes contact.
He's braver. He wants it more. But Matheus Cunha, in a 1v1 situation with Nico O'Reilly, he thought he had him as a fullback, and that little nick just in front of him to get his cross into the 6-yard area. Look, there's 3 players around Patrick Dorgu, and Rico Lewis just switches off.
Here is Semenyo on the right-hand side looking to respond. A ball in towards the near post, tidied up by Harry Maguire. It cannons out towards the near side, and it's taken infield by Kusanov. Back towards Rodri, prodded away towards Mainu. He's helped it forward. Manchester United lead 2-0 against Manchester City. And they're up into the top 4 of the Premier League as a result. Kusanov slams the floor in frustration. Pep Guardiola picks him up. They're going to make changes here with Reinders and Ait-Nouri about to come on. Might be 3 changes actually, because it looks like Makasa is also going to enter the fray. So who are they going to switch out here with O'Reilly playing the left back? Ait-Nouri going to play further up the pitch. Ball thrown in from Shaw on the near touchline, given away, picked up by Bernardo Silva on the halfway line. I mean, it's a bit of a surprise result, but nothing surprises you with Manchester United.
No, and I think there's a response from United down there. Ugarte will be coming on for Casemiro. They just give Casemiro a shout to go down to ground to get play stopped, but he won't have a chance to do that.
Lewis tries to bundle his way into the box. It's away by Martinez. They just want it a little bit more, I think, Manchester United. They just have that fire in their belly today. Here is Semenyo, right side, trying to tease his way into the box. Challenged by Dorgu. Fernandez picks it up. It goes back towards his own goal, but he gets tricked. He thinks he should have a foul. He doesn't get one. Cherki challenged on the edge of the area, but Manchester United still fighting for it. Rodri trying to hold on to it, goes down. Casemiro is penalised. It's going to be a free kick. Luke Shaw's gone down the edge of the area as well, off the ball here. That'll be a concern to Manchester United. Michael Carrick just about to bring on Ugarte. And a free kick is given to Manchester City, and they make changes with Reinders coming on for Bernardo Silva. That's the first change. Second change is going to be Rukasa to come on, the teenage midfielder who signed from West Ham. He started 3 League Cup games this season, but this is an opportunity in the Premier League for him. And Ryan Ait-Nouri coming on, and Doku going off, and Erling Haaland being taken off. And listen to the glee of the Manchester United fans as the striking Viking goes off, having only scored now 1 in his last 7 Premier League appearances.
Yeah, he's not had too much of a contribution in the game. It's been very difficult for him today. No supply line, and the odd challenge he's had to hold the ball up, United have dealt with him particularly well.
Casemiro goes off, and on comes Ugarte. And Manchester United's latest change Manchester City now made all 5 of theirs, and the last few minutes of the Manchester derby, the last 10 minutes of the Manchester derby requires powers of magical recovery from Manchester City.
Well, Casemiro making his way off as that's his testimonial.
There's still 10 minutes to go, and that is a long time in the Manchester derby. 2-0 Manchester United lead on TalkSport with Sky Sports. Don't forget that now you can stream all the Sky Sports action flexibly like this game live right now with Now Sports. Here's Cherki's delivery into the box, headed forward by Ake. Offside flag is up against Reinders, and it will be cleared away.
He was certainly milking that substitution, Casemiro, wasn't he? He's probably been at this club for quite a while now, Sam, and maybe waited for a reception like that. But it was fantastic, and he's been a part of Manchester United today. Look, I hope that they now don't try and sit in and soak up pressure from Man City until the full-time whistle, because I don't think they're that type of team who can do that. I think you have to be possession-based, and I think Man United, the way they've approached this game, the diagonal's been the best friend today, with Patrick Dorgu and Ahmad in the wide areas, being able to run in behind Man City's fullbacks, and they've basically had more joy than the wide players than Manchester City today. And I know the goal didn't come from that, but the counter-attacking football has been excellent from the red side of Manchester today.
Amazing, really, when you think about it, that Antoine Semenyo could have gone to Manchester United, could have been a Manchester United player today. Instead, he elected to go to Manchester City. He's had a good start, really, scoring in his first 2 starts for the club, but he hasn't had much of an impact, actually, today. But he's not the only one in blue to feel that. Senna Lomans sends it long. And Donnarumma, actually, ball helped on by Fernandes when it was dropping from the sky, and Rico Lewis had to react because it was going into the path of Cunha. Goes all the way back to Maguire. Maguire down the right-hand side. Manages to chip the ball into the wing position. O'Reilly away, taken down by Cunha. Cunha travels forward, and now it's Dalot far side. Into Ahmad once again. Ahmad turns it back into the path of Shaw. Shaw with a chance to nudge it on. And Dorgu now takes over, runs into Rico Lewis and loses the ball, but Shaw wins it back again. And Lewis is struggling here because he was backpedaling and he's not 100%. Fernandes takes over, onto Kobbie Mainoo, weaves his way past Rodri into the penalty area, then slips as he tries to take on Kusanov, and then the ball spills into the arms of Donnarumma, and they clear it away. 7 minutes gone, Manchester United 2, Manchester City 0, and we've got 7 minutes to go before the conclusion of the match, and 7 minutes before a precious 3 points could be earned for Manchester United, Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, and not only that, it's breeded confidence within this stadium as well. You know, new management team down on the technical area there, Messrs Carrick and Holland, and they've set this team up, and I think they've done a wonderful job today on what I've seen with my eyes. You know, they've been magnificent. There's a work ethic amongst their team. The forward players have helped out the defensive ones and vice versa, and they've been certainly by far the best team on this pitch.
It will be a dream start for Michael Carrick if it continues like this. It's Reinders down the right-hand side, though, popping the ball through the 6-yard area, and Aït-Nouri can't get on the end of it, and he takes it out of play over on the far side as Millwall take the lead away at Watford in the Championship. A tussle between 5th and 6th in those Championship playoff positions, and Millwall have taken the lead away from home. 84 minutes gone. Bolton have taken the lead in their game in League One against Wigan. And here it remains 2-0 to Manchester United. And on a difficult day for travel, actually, a lot of people struggle to get up to Manchester because of the train issues today. It's absolutely jam-packed, 74,000 inside this stadium, and it's been in brilliant voice, it really has. Cunha, down the left, beating Lewis and getting towards the edge of the area. He goes on the outside of Kusanov and takes it towards the corner. Manchester United keeping the ball inside opposition territory. Lovely touch and then feed in towards Fernandes. He then goes down under pressure from Rodri, but Fernandes escapes with the ball again. Down the left he goes, travelling by the penalty box. Mainoo's there for company. Fernandes keeping it away, tries to play it against Lewis. Mainoo's got it back again, and then a foul is given against Fernandes. I'm not entirely sure what the referee's done there. That was a little bit fortunate. And City have a free kick deep inside their own half. I mean, when we go back and look through some of the performances, Donnarumma has played really well. Maguire's played really well. Fernandes has been a star, I think, in possession of the football, set up the first goal. Dorgu actually has played well on this left-hand side, further up. He's a guy who's played in 4 different positions in his last 5 games, and he might be in behind again here. Kusanov trying to get there first, and he does just accelerate in time. And the offside flag is up against him anyway, and it'll be another free kick for Manchester City away to our left-hand side.
They've got to take risks now, Sam. City, if they're going to get anything out of this game, they've just got to try and get themselves into the match as quick as they possibly can, which is important for them. But I just think overall, individuals have had a day off today. 2 wide players, Erling Haaland, I think you mentioned 1 goal in 6, which is unlike him. He looked a little bit tired in midweek. I think he looked a little bit jaded today as well. It's like the weight of the shoulders is on him at the moment, because he's the man who gets the goals for them.
Here's Mukasa under pressure from Harry Maguire with another strong tackle that sends the ball out to the far side. Reinders cuts in on his right foot, looks to get the shot away. Out to the left it goes for Aït-Nouri. Aït-Nouri goes outside Dalot, can't get the cross in, comes back to the edge of the area, and Cherki feeds it in towards Mukasa, and then Rico Lewis spoons it over the top. But Harry Maguire with an intervention in the build-up to that opportunity, just pushing the ball around. I mean, he's been fantastic today. He's been like a bouncer on Deansgate on a Friday night, hasn't he? Manchester City just haven't been able to get past the velvet rope.
Look, I think, whether it's a Manchester derby or any derby that any ex-player's been involved in, what the managers will say to you in the dressing room, Sam, and it's probably in every single dressing room, is win the battle first. And United have done that today.
Coventry lead against Leicester. Haji Wright with the goal. 5 minutes from time on TalkSport 2. Absolutely huge for Frank Lampard and his team. If they can hold on to that, they'll stretch their lead at the top of the table to 6 points. Millwall lead Watford by 2 goals to 0 now. And remember, we've got more EFL action for you on TalkSport 2 from 2:30 this afternoon. We've got all the goals as they go in with Adrian Durham at the same time here. Here is Rodri, forward up towards Semenyo. Semenyo into Cherki. Cherki under pressure from Fernandes. Mainu wins it near touchline and turns out of a tight spot. Fernandes onto Cunha. Cunha into Dorgu. Dorgu. And he plays the ball against Rico Lewis. It's a Manchester United throw as we go into the 88th minute of the game.
As I say, even though City are losing this game, I don't feel there's too much pressure on the United goal at all.
Well, there hasn't been much, has there?
No.
Really and truly, Romans haven't had to do too much. And now Manchester United are coming again. Ahmad is at the far post if they can find him. But the delivery from Fernandes is too close towards Donnarumma. And it's bowled out to Nico O'Reilly, who is encouraged to come forward here. He bounds over halfway. Manchester United lead by 2 goals to 0. O'Reilly sends it out towards the far side. Aït-Nouri cuts in on his right foot. He stumbles slightly. He plays it back in towards Cherki, who clips it over the top. It's collected by Reinders. Reinders now with a chance to cross the ball into the area. He doesn't do that. He waits. He hesitates. He pushes it down the byline towards Ryan Aït-Nouri. It then cannons off a Manchester United body and comes back to Reinders. His cross into the box is a deep one. It's headed away by Luke Shaw, and Kusanov tries to keep it alive, but Shaw is there again, and he heads it out to Dorgu, who's knocked down, but Manchester United might be able to counter-attack here, and Ahmad has been played into green grass inside the City territory. He's cut in by Ake. He's into the penalty area. It's Ahmad to finish it. He's hit the post. It comes cannoning off the frame of the goal. And Manchester United are denied a clinching 3rd goal by the woodwork. Excellent run from Ahmad, who got in behind the defence. He danced away from Ake. His right-footed shot smashed against the post, Mickey Gray.
It's just sensational.
Here's Cherki into the area. Exchanges passes with Mukasa. And again, Manchester United bring it clear. And again, there's space to run into. This time for Dorgu, who moves up towards the halfway line. Fernandes has got it now. We're into the 90th minute. He swirls it out towards Ahmad, who keeps it alive far side. Cunha now. 5 minutes of added time at Old Trafford with Manchester United in control, but Bruno Fernandes' control letting him down, and the ball goes out on this near side and away for a throw-in. They're going to make a substitution here, Manchester United, as they go into stoppage time, leading by 2-0, and Luke Shaw is being replaced by Aidan Heaven for the final few minutes of the game. And Shaw,
what a game we've had on our hands, haven't we?
Fantastic. It was just the way, just come inside past Ake, who, by the way, is a Champions League winner. And he smashes the ball towards the near post. Donnarumma was beaten, but the post stopped it from 3-0. Would have been a terrific goal. Mason Mount coming on as well for the final few moments, and I think that means the end of the day for Bruno Fernandes, who's going to get a standing ovation for his performance, which has been absolutely stellar.
Yeah, he certainly had some contribution for his team today, there's no doubt. Fernandes, he's absolutely excellent. I think he's been
absolutely terrific, and he was the one who created the opening goal with that wonderful little feint and move. His body shape, the way he just drifted to the right and then passed the ball to the left, caused all sorts of problems. Here is Ahmad intercepting a pass and feeding it through to Konya. Konya's onside here, racing through. He feeds Mason Mount for the third, and Manchester United have a 3-goal lead in stoppage time against City on a day that they've turned this City red again. Another brilliant breakaway goal from Manchester United, and Mason Mount has a Derby Day delightful smile on his face, because Manchester United lead by 3-0, and Manchester City have absolutely no answer. 3-0, and Michael Carrick is beaming from ear to ear. He's only been in the job for 92 minutes, and he's already got a landmark victory to his name.
Yeah, this one's just being checked for offside, but it looked a really clinical breakaway once again. Movement in behind that back line, a static high back line, got picked off once again, and probably it's no more than United deserve.
It's absolutely terrific. Again, it's Ahmad who gets hold of it. He gallops over the halfway line. Cunha is way onside, by the way, as he's fed the ball. Now, whether Mason Mount is behind the ball, which he is, when the ball comes across, it means this goal will be absolutely fine, Mickey Gray.
Yeah, absolutely. I just worried because Mason Mount, when the ball was played through to Cunha, he looked like he was in an offside position, but as the ball is played inside of the 18-yard area, he keeps himself onside. And as Stuart mentioned that, it's all United deserve. The way they've approached this game, the way they've attacked at Man City, they've used the counter-attack, and they've been absolutely fantastic, they really have. Listen to this place.
Well, we're still waiting for the goal to be cleared. I mean, I can't see an offside offence in the build-up to it, Mickey.
Well,
Gray.
we just don't want another 4 minutes and 51 seconds, do we? Because that's just ridiculous. But we've seen it in the replay. Surely in the VAR they can see it as well. I think it's Craig Pawson today.
Yeah, it is.
It's a goal.
It's a goal. Anthony Taylor still waiting to get the instruction from the VAR. I mean, the glum looks on the face of the City players looking on tell the story.
I'll tell you what.
Oh, they're going to chalk it off for offside.
Wow.
Well, the only thing I can think of, Sam, is in the build-up, as I mentioned, Mason Mount is in an offside position when the ball's played through to Cunha, and he's still involved in that build-up play. That's the only thing I can think of, because when the ball's played across to him, he is onside.
Well, he wasn't. He didn't receive the ball,
yeah, exactly,
or interfere with play. Well, I'm bemused by that. I thought, well, I don't know. They change the rules every week, and apparently we're not supposed to be looking for ways to rule out goals. We've ruled out one here, and Manchester United are denied. The goal has been disallowed for an offside in the build-up to Mason Mount putting it in. So it's only 2-0 to Manchester United, but 3-0 wouldn't be flattering. Ball into the box from Manchester City, headed away by Dorgu. Almost came through to Semenyo. Back out towards Rico Lewis, and then into Cherki. Cherki goes down the outside. 95 minutes play. Dorgu with a brilliant block, and then a good slide tackle from Aidan Heaven puts it out for a corner kick on this near side. Remember, the TalkSport app is the place to be if you want to listen to Breakfast, if you want to listen to our great podcast, including How to Win the World Cup with comedians Matt Ford, Alex Brooker. They're talking Mavericks with Emmanuel Petit this week, and it's well worth a listen. Here is Matthijs Cunha out on the near side, trying to keep the ball in play, can't quite do so. Manchester United 2, Manchester City 0 with TalkSport and Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it, book now at enterprise.co.uk. 96 minutes have been played. Rodri, who's toiled a little bit, tries to give the ball back to Ake. Manchester United fans in absolutely brilliant voice, because they know that right now the Michael Carrick era is about to experience the perfect launch event. Mainu trying to stop Reinders coming forward. He eventually does it the second time. Then Dalot digs in to get it clear. Ugarte away to the far side. This is the first defeat that City have suffered since they were beaten by Leverkusen. And there still might be another moment yet. Ahmad was offside again. I mean, if Manchester United actually had kept on side today, they probably would have had 5 goals, Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, I think probably that's one for the coaching staff next week, timing of runs, you know.
Well, they've got a lot of time on the coaching pitch because of the fact that they're playing the fewest number of games in 111 years. There's the full-time whistle. Old Trafford roars like it hasn't in years. Pride restored, belief rekindled. Michael Carrick's era gets off to the dream start. A 2-goal deserved victory over their